Okay. Peace and shalom, family. Peace and shalom. What's going on? Thank y'all for your patience. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Give me 1 second. Let me get the word out, and then we can get started. All right. I'll give y'all a moment to come on in, get comfy. Right. Okay. All right, come on in. All right. All right. Give me another second. We will get started. All right. All right. I see y'all. All right. Again, thank you for joining us. We are about to get started. All right. Just getting the word out. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Let's see who's up in here. I'll give a couple of shout outs. Shout out to Ace in the building, Trey or TJ, Gavin Miller, Amiel Banyasharala, the Most High Child Shayarala, Shalom, Black Av, It's Just a Conversation, Elijah Yisrael, Shalom, LAE, Yeti, Hebrew Dre, AJ Bethia, Karen Gittins, True People of the Bible, Shalom, Alexander McCaskill, Shalom, Tony Lysite, Shalom, Yahosef Ben Israel, Shalom, Patricia Brady in the building, Shalom, Stephen Mikhail Key, Shalom, Truth Seeker, Shalom, Azariel, Shalom, Mother Beulah, daughter of Zion in the building, Megan Taylor, Shalom, do it for the nation. What's going on, King? Yo, I sent you, I didn't send you, I made a comment on your Instagram post, and I was asking, how old would you? So if you see this, do it for the nation, put your age in the chat. There's a reason why I was asking that. All right. And I'm gonna bring up some of your music shortly because we're going to discuss the mixtape. All right. Shout out to Jimmy Johnson in the building. Shalom. My brother Get Wise. Shalom. Hakodesh Management. Shalom. Dimitri Elder. Yes, it's been a minute, King. Shalom. Arcadia Music Group. Shalom. Yahweh Stop, Son of Light. Shalom. Lucky Lou. Shalom. Ronald Pierre. Shalom. Chris Bronson in the building. Shalom. Linda Rick. Shalom. Jacko Black. Shalom. Anthony Barclay II. Shalom. Hoshea Yahawada. Shalom. Yoel Ben Israel. Shalom. Trocon Doyu Jr. Shalom. Spiritual Journey TV in the building. Shalom. Yehuda Dawid. Shalom. Roland R. Walker. Shalom. Scott Garrett Headley. Shalom. 19. Bruh. I knew you looked young. I didn't know you was that young. Wow. Bruh. All I gotta say is I'm a fan of your music, my brother. Thank you so much for gracing our mixtape. You feel me? You dropped a lot of gems on there. Your songs is fire on there. But I'm gonna let the people decide because we're gonna talk about that in a second. All right. But yeah, that's good to know, my brother. I love reaching the youth, man. I wish so much that I can go back 20 years, you know what I'm saying, and reclaim my childhood, man, my teenage years, my young adulthood, doing what I'm doing now, man. I will be so many light years ahead. But, you know, the best way for me to redeem or reclaim back my youth is by saving time for others, right? Imparting into them the things that I learned in this journey, so that way they can make the most out of their time, right? And also pouring that back into my children as well. So that's good to know, my brother. I didn't even know you was that young. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Ice U Code Shalom. Let me see. You're well, Ben Israel says, I look 20 myself. All praise to the Most High. I don't have a lot of gray hairs. I think I may have maybe 5 gray hairs. One of them, as you can see, is right here on my beard. But I probably got like 3 or 4 of them scattered somewhere on my head. But I don't really have a lot of gray hair. You know what I'm saying? I could be a good or bad depending on the look. But in 2 years, when I hit 40, I'm going to be considered an elder, right? So I'm okay with the grays at that point. You know what I mean? But right now, I don't want to be called an elder or anything like that. I'm just a servant. You know what I mean? But if Yah, you know, allows me to live to that age, I'll be forever grateful and continue to mentor our youth. All right. Shout out to Sir Vert Out in the building. Shalom. Let me see if I got everybody. Jay Sampson. Shalom, King. Shalom. KHM LA in the building. Lisa Anderson. Shalom. Zeph. Shalom. Aldrich Dow. Shalom. Brother Yasharal. Shalom. Thank you, my brother Dimitri Elder, for the donation. I appreciate that. Let me see. Roland R. Walker. Shalom. He said he got enough for all of us. The scripture says to rise for the hoary head and show respect to the hoary head if their life was led in righteousness. You know what I'm saying? And that's the most important thing. All elders are supposed to have some hokmah or wisdom to leave to the younger generations. But unfortunately, there are some old fools that are out there, you know, that have not matured and have not grown for whatever reason, and have nothing really to pass on to the next generation, you know, and sometimes the previous generations have to teach them, you know. So I don't want to fail the generations coming up by being an elder that has not lived a life of righteousness or strive to live a life of righteousness, and have something indelible from my journey to imbue into them, you know. So I thank the Most High for giving me an opportunity, so that way I'm here to be able to do that. All right. Brother Yasharal says, I thought 50 was considered an elder. Can you share sources? So you want sources that say 40 is considered an elder? Excellent question. I don't have the scripts in front of me right now, but during the course of this show, I could probably pull it out, right? The scripts, and be able to disseminate it to you. So, but yes, 40, you start to encroach upon being an elder, okay? Because you got to remember, back then, in ancient times, people didn't, the common person, not people who read in the Bible, because a lot of times people read in the Bible are all the times are not the common folk, right? But most of the common folk, they did not live that long. I think the most that they lived maybe was in their 60s and they died. So 40 years old is considered an elder. Today, depending upon what statistics you look at, for example, the African-American male has the shortest lifespan than any other ethnic group or gender in America, right? The Black or African-American male, all right? So our lifespan, you know, if we live a long life, we can pray to see 70 years old, all right? As an African-American male. African-American females live longer than that. And then right after African-American females are white males, but the white female has the longest lifespan in America, right? And that's statistics. So the white female has the longest lifespan, and they've done a lot of studies on this. It's very fascinating when you take some time to research it. But during that period of time, all of those classes will have a much shorter lifespan, right? By at least 20 years, all right? And in some areas, even less than that. You know, so that's why, and I'll show you something, because we're gonna touch on something in a second. An excellent book that I think everybody here should purchase if you're interested on children, right? In the ancient Near East, right? How children were reared, how they were raised, the world from their perspective, and things of that nature. I'm gonna touch on a little bit of that later with a great source. I'm gonna read a couple of pages from, but I recommend that to everybody in here who's interested in that. And I've always been interested in that, right? And I'm gonna try to intrigue y'all to look into that some more as well. All right, so let me give a couple more shout outs. Let's see who else we have here in the building. Shalom to JM. Shalom to Emmanuel Curry. Shalom. Aviyavi Yazaret. Shalom. Cesar Rodriguez. Salute, King. Sydney Wood. Shalom, my brother. Deborah M. Prayers Gift Supply.com. Shalom. Shalom. Lynn. Shalom. Shalom. Lynn, are you getting that from Sister Shonda? Because she had talked about a little bit about that earlier today. I caught some of her show. Now, that's not what I have on the table right now, but after I get what I have to say off, I'm going to open it up to a Q&A, and if you want to bring that out at that point, you can, all right? Shout out to 617, let's get it. S. McGee, shalom. Sister Santawa, shalom. Shalom. Let's see. Yoel Ben Yisrael says, what's your position on tattoos? Yes, so I did speak on that several times in live streams in the past. So just put my name and the word tattoo in the YouTube search field, and you'll see a couple of live streams come up where I talk about that. All right. Because I connect that to the same scripture that talks about your beard. Because, you know, some brothers say you can't get a shape up, you can't trim your beard. And I say, well, you don't know the ancient Near Eastern culture in regards to the Canaanite practice or customs of shaving their face bald and then disfiguring the sides of their face so that way their hair would not grow. And we see that represented in the Ugaritic tablets, more specifically the Baal cycle, right? We see how El mourns over the death of Baal, who's his son, and part of his mourning process is that he uses a flint stone or flint knife and uses it to shave his beard and then cuts himself from cheek to cheek or ear to ear. You know what I'm saying? So if you can't find it, I went ahead and I spoke about what tattoos represented during that time. A lot of times for tribal affiliations, a lot of times for the invocation of particular deities. A lot of times it was, what some people still do now in remembrance of the dead. A lot of times it was a cutting in the flesh that they would do in remembrance of the dead. But the tattooing that they were against was some of the tribal customs that the Canaanites did in regards to their tribal affiliation and as well as their homage to deities. And the Most High was against Israel adopting those same customs, right? A lot of us today, we get tattoos and stuff before understanding this knowledge of our culture and what we should revert back to. And a lot of times people who are still Israelites still go and get tattoos. You know what I'm saying? But within this context, it's referring to whatever the Canaanite practices are. So in order for you to know what not to do, based on what the Most High is telling you to do, you have to study the Canaanite culture. And one of the best voices that speaks the loudest based on the amount of evidence that we have from the archaeological record from the ancient Near East portion of the Levant is from the city of Ugarit. All right. So if you're interested in learning more about Ugarit, we have resources for you on the Patreon. And we also got an Ugaritic language course if you're interested in learning Ugaritic as a language. And you can see right here above me, this one right here, this gray one is my Ugaritic course. I use that to get me started with Ugaritic and then started watching professors lecture about it and reading more books and stuff on it. It's very fascinating language, and it helps us with linguistic glosses in the Hebrew language as well. But it's good if you want to see cognates of what's in Hebrew with another Semitic language, more particularly a West Semitic language, which Ugaritic in Hebrew is classified as. There's a lot of cognates with Ugarit, right? All right, so shout out to Mr. Jizzo, 1977, shalom. He says that's brother Jamar Grant, shalom, King, shalom. Nisi's PC's in the building, Raphael, shalom. Main man, shalom. Sister Tahira, beloved, shalom, sis. What's going on, Malcha? Been a while since I've seen you up in here. Thank you for coming on and supporting, sis. I appreciate that. Shout out to my brother, Lav Judah in the building. Truth Seeker, shalom. So Truth Seeker, my position on that, I subscribe to theistic evolution. If you don't know what that is, go and watch the works of Hugh Ross. He holds a very similar position to what I hold to, Hughross. All right. Remember, the scripture was not a scientific treatise in regards to the inner working mechanics of the universe, right? It just gives a cultural vantage point that the patron deity Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh, or El, was responsible for the formation of the material world that we see right now. And the purpose of it was to create it to give man dominion over it, right? Because man was created in his image and in his likeness, according to what it says in Bereshit chapter 1. All right. Now, so good, sister. Tahira, I understand, sis. No problem. No problem. So my position is when you look at the young earth creationists, is what they call them, who subscribe to the fact that the earth is only 6,000 years old. I disagree with that. I believe in an old earth, based on the words from the text that talk about or allude to the age of the earth, about it being old, right? And that's one of the places that I start. I start really from the text itself, looking at the particular idioms, phrases, and words, how they're syntaxed, and the grammar of particular sentences, to see if it gives any clues. And then from there, I go and do a comparative cultural analysis with sister cultures to kind of see if I can find cognates of words and phrases in Hebrew elsewhere and how that is expressed in another culture. And then try to take all of that data and deduce it to see what the common denominator is, right? So I'm not a young earth creationist. I don't subscribe to that. Matter of fact, I tell you all the time, look up Bishop Ushkin. Matter of fact, let me show you who I'm talking about, right? He's the one that really collated the position on the earth being 6,000 years old, all right? Bishop Usher. All right, I'm gonna show it to y'all real quick. Bishop Usher, and it's called the Usher Chronology, if you're not familiar with it. But Usher, he was one of the first people to come out and give a date on the age of the earth. So let me go ahead and get it for y'all. 1 second. Right. Hold on. All right. So Archbishop Usher and Biblical Chronology. This is a good source. I'm trying to find the best source I can share with y'all on that. This right here. This is a pretty old source. Let me see. All right, let me show it to you on the screen. Again, it's a side note. It's okay. Shout out to Mr. Jijo. Thank you for the donation. I appreciate that. Shout out to my brother O'Shea White. Shalom. Yes, ISU Code. You're absolutely correct. That's why I highly recommend John H. Walton, because even as a Christian, he is very objective and honest as it pertains to the interpretation of what they call the Old Testament, what we call the Tanakh or the Hebrew Bible, right? Which is extremely important, right? So let me go ahead and share my screen real quick so you guys can see this while I'm looking at it. And here it says, in the beginning, God created heaven and earth, Genesis 1, verse 1, which beginning of time, according to our chronology, fell upon the entrance. And now, mind you, he wrote this, Archbishop Usher wrote this in 1658. All right, fell upon the entrance of the night preceding the 23rd day of October in the year of the Julian Roman calendar, 710 of 4004 BC. Upon the first day, therefore, of the word, or October 23rd being our Sunday, God, together with the highest heaven, created the angels. Then, having finished, as it were, the roof of the building, he fell in hand with the foundation of this wonderful fabric of the world. He fashioned this lowest globe, consistent of the deep and of the earth, all the choir of angels singing together and magnifying his name, therefore. And when the earth was void and without form, and darkness covered the face of the deep, on the very middle of the first day, the light was created, and God's servant from the darkness called the one day and the other night. James B. Usher, matter of fact, let me zoom in. This might be small. Let me zoom in. There we go. Right. James B. Usher calculated the age of the earth from the oldest historical document of his time, the Bible. Usher was an Anglican archbishop of Armagh and primate of Ireland. He suggested that, and we just read that right there. And it says problems. Biblical history of Israel, not complete from Ezra, Nehemiah to Christ, has to be tenuously cross-linked to other cultural records from Persia, Chaldean, Romans, which he didn't do. Jewish chronology based on lunar months, that was post-exile. Leap year problems had led to abandonment of older Julian calendar for new Gregorian counts in 1582. And Usher, as Archbishop, wanted nothing to do with a Pope-based calendar, although he was forced to use it, and it was later accepted by Protestant scholars and even put inside editions of the King James translation of the Bible, and started in 1701. All right. So the history of that 6,000-year doctrine comes from Archbishop Usher. Again, I tell you guys all the time, the objective is to find the origin of things. Okay, when was this first thought laid out before you adopt it? Does it mean because it was laid out somewhere by somebody else that is false? No, I'm not saying that. What I'm simply saying is, based on the data that person had at their time, that is what he utilized to calculate the age of the earth. But now, in hindsight, learning the language, the culture, etc., we see that is not accurate according to the cultural disposition of ancient Israel. All right. They always mention earth as being old. That's very important. Okay. Again, I could probably go into that another time. But back in, shout out to Yoel Ben Yisrael, thank you for the donation, King. But back in 2015, Sonetta was going to have, well, not going to have, he did have a conference, a science conference or whatever, but he was getting different people on the House of Consciousness to come and give a presentation. I was supposed to be there, but I had some issues with him and Polite at the time. And because of such, I decided I want to have nothing to do with it, but I did speak on it in a live stream or a session I did at some other time. But nonetheless, I was back in 2015. My stance is still consistent. If I was to use the scriptures as a template in order to reconstruct a model of the earth, I would do it based on what's called theistic evolution. Or if you go to Hugh Ross, you'll see pretty much his position. However, because the Bible is not a scientific treatise, or it was not a book that says, okay, hey, we're going to write about all the inner workings and science behind how everything operates in the universe. We don't get that from the text. We get hints based on things that's referenced from like the psalmist, and we get in Genesis chapter 1. But for the most part, it's not a treatise designed to tell you the inner working scientifically of how the universe operates, the age of the earth, or anything like that. The dating system that the ancient Israelites had was a relative dating system as opposed to an absolute dating system, which simply means that they charted time based on major events, whether they are climatic events, whether they are natural disaster events that happen in the earth, whether it's the ascension or descension of a king, whether it's a famine, whatever the case may be. They say this is the 7th year of the so-and-so famine of so-and-so, so-and-so. Other administrative cultures had other dating systems that they utilized, and it wasn't until the Greeks came on the scene that an absolute dating system was utilized, similar to what we have today, that is based on one central event, and then time is charted based on that one central event. All right. Now, when you understand this, how can you chart the age of the earth? Now, people will say, well, what about the age of the people? Can you use that to count back? And I will say, well, we don't know how long Adam and Eve was in the garden. We don't know how long that Sabbath was because it did not have an evening. It had a perpetual day. And the purpose of that was so that way they can live and rest perpetually if they kept the commandment that Yah gave them. But as you know the story, Adam and Chava decided that they didn't want to do that and they didn't want to obey him. Therefore, they were pushed out the garden. But we don't know how old the earth was while they were in that garden, right? Time was like, I want to say it was frozen, but time was extended. So you cannot chart that. So therefore, at whatever point they was kicked out, from when time occurred, when now their bodies became mortal, because technically they always had access to the tree of life, and that was the sustenance that kept them eternal, right? But what happened was, because they was denied access to that, now their bodies went through other changes, became mortal, and they died, right? And then after that occurred, then that's when real time started to be charted, right? Where they started to understand these things, right? So again, somebody like Archbishop Usher did not factor all these things in. When you read his actual works, he didn't factor these things in, right? But now you have people today who are called young earth creationists that are adopting his model and not even understanding how it was constructed. Now, some of them probably do, but they don't understand the agenda behind why he wanted to do it, mostly because he was against the Pope's calendar, or the Pope having control over time, okay, and feast days and holidays and all that other stuff. It was an agenda that drove him to do his calculation. and people still keep it today. So I'm just being specific based on my research and the consensus that's out there in academia that model is outdated because it doesn't take into account a lot of more recent stuff. Now, again, what people try to do is they try to use the Bible as a means of explaining science, and that's error, because the way we think scientifically today is not how they thought at that time. So we cannot impose our current presuppositions onto what we read in the text, because you'll be eisegeted in the text, reading your thoughts into the text instead of understanding the cultural, historical, and linguistic worldview that the text was written in from the author to the immediate audience, in order for us to extract what it meant. And then from there, we make the one-to-one connection. And it had nothing to do with a scientific or cosmogonical, understanding of the inner workings and mechanics of the universe, because it was not designed to be a treatise. It was designed to show that this patron deity, he is supreme over everything that is on this planet. And he's so supreme that he can also delegate some of that authority to a creature like mankind. And what mankind do, we throw it. All right. So I'm just going to leave it at that. But again, if you want me to in the future to have a discussion with you guys about that, to bring more information about in regards to my position and why I don't subscribe to Archbishop Usher's chronology, I definitely could break that down for you. But again, I'm giving you a name. Okay. Archbishop Usher. Go back and research his work so you can see where this idea came from. All right. So hopefully that helps. All right. So let me go back. Let me go back to where we was at. All right. So hopefully that suffice. All right. All right. So let me get back on track. That kind of threw me off from what I was talking about. I actually forgot what I was talking about. But anyway, let me move on with the show. All right. So what I want to do right now, let me show you guys some updates on the Patreon, and I'm gonna move forward. I'm going to talk about Juneteenth in a second, Sister Tahira. So just hold that, sis. I'm gonna address that in 1 second. All right. But let me show you guys what's new on the Patreon. If you guys are not signed up for the Patreon, you are missing out on a ton load of resources. I just added stuff today. Matter of fact, I constantly add stuff to the Patreon. There's always content on there, whether it's my content or third-party content. There's always a ton of content on the Patreon. And if you like anything that we say or do on this platform on YouTube, Patreon has even more of that on there. You know what I'm saying? And I know you guys will definitely enjoy that, right? But let me give you a sneak peek so you guys can see what is actually on there. And then from there, you can see some other data. Now, if you want me to put some information on there in regards to, how old the earth is and stuff like that, I can definitely do that. All right. So we have over 420 posts on this Patreon. All right. My Patreon has over 420 posts. That means we have all that content that is sitting there waiting for you. If you're not part of the Patreon, you got to go back into the archives and look at all that 400 plus worth of posts, because there's tons of exclusive content. Not only exclusive content, we have tons of tools and sources and other things that help you in this walk. Okay. So the last thing I added to it was a book called The Infographic Guide to the Bible. Matter of fact, I have that open. I'm gonna show it to y'all right now so you can see it on the screen, so you can see what it looks like. This is a great book, especially if you want to teach the text to your children. What I would like to do at some point, because we're working on the academy part of our community, is to redo it from our perspective, right? Because there's some things in there that's just eisegetically Christian, and it shouldn't be there, but they did what they could based on their particular worldview. But I definitely want to show you this because it's very fascinating. A lot of it is great to use, but just keep in mind it has a Christian tinge. Okay. So this is it right here. Let me show you how awesome this is, right? Take a look at this, right? It goes into Genesis, a timeline of creation, and breaks it down for you. All right. It goes into Adam and Eve. Now they're trying to promote me to get, this is a ebook reader that I have called Ice Cream. Okay. And then it goes into the genealogy. It goes into Cain versus Abel, the Tower of Babel, Sarah, mother of nations, 7 takeaways for Sodom and Amorah, Joseph's his dream, Moshe. And again, it gives you all of these informational quibs, visual cues, and so forth, and breaks it down and makes it very, very easy to teach to children. And this is an excellent guide. You just have to look at the parts that are Christian and just push it aside. Not saying it's bad per se, but just keep in mind that Christians wrote it and they have a particular worldview. So therefore, a lot of it's going to reflect their worldview. But simply, it's good in case you want to use a tool and make it one of many tools to teach your children. Okay. And again, it's really, really good, man. It goes into the feast, the spring feast, the fall feast, constructing the Ark of the Covenant, the 12 judges of Israel, the mapping of the conquest of Canaan, and goes on and on. This thing is phenomenal. But we have it there on the Patreon. If you're interested in reading it, sharing it with your kids, it'll be something good to go over with them when y'all are reading the scriptures on a Sabbath, right? However, all right, sorry about that. I don't know what just happened. Something clicked off while I was talking. So my apologies for that. All right. So what I was saying is that this is good for people who want to share it with their children. But if you really want to get, like, for adults, if you really want to go through the text in a much more, I would say, academic way, or a much more elevated way, or higher learning type way, there's another reference that I recommend that y'all can take a look at. And that reference is this. Hold on, give me 1 second. Where's it at? Just had it earlier. Hold on, I'm gonna grab it for y'all in 1 second. Give me 1 second. Handbook. Where is it at? Here it is. All right, let me show this to y'all real quick. Again, this is also available on the Patreon if you're interested. Again, an excellent read, which I recommend. All right, so just give me a second. What is this? Okay, hold on. All right, this one is called The Harvest Handbook of Bible Lands, a panoramic survey of the history, geography, and culture of the scriptures by Stephen Collins, Joseph M. Holden, and forwarded by Walter C. Kaiser. This is an excellent source if you really want to get into the text from a more elevated level, looking at everything from maps to archaeological artifacts to stories behind the scriptures and chronology, like you see right here. It might be a little small. Let me zoom in. All right. So you can go into here and take a look at everything here. All right. Again, this I would recommend for adults that are really trying to get into the text. And it goes a little bit further than that infographic does. Okay. It goes much further, actually. This is something that you guys can definitely take a look at. We have it on the Patreon. So sign up for the Patreon so you can read it. If you're already part of the Patreon, do a search for the Harvest Handbook of Bible Lands, and you guys will be able to see that. All right. All right. So let's keep moving forward. All right. And sorry for y'all talking until I have to compete a little bit with my son in the background, who's very talkative right now. All right. So the next thing we have on here is the Bible Experience. All right, the complete Bible. All right, so we're going to add this on here for our $20 plus tier patrons. And pretty much what this is that this came out back in 2007. And what they did was they took a host of Black actors and actresses and had them read out the Bible. Right. So a lot of times some people are looking for audio Bibles. And a lot of times when we look at audio Bibles, sometimes it's from voices that we feel are uninspiring and does not really prompt us to want to actually hear the text. Here is extremely dramatic. They had an orchestra involved with a lot of the ambient music, and these actors and actresses, they acted their behinds off, right? So on here, what I've done is I also gave links so you guys can watch the introduction video for this. You can listen to the theme music. All right. And then also get a sample of it from Genesis chapter 1. But I will be uploading or having available for you to stream all the books of the Old Testament. All right. So you guys can hear it from actors and actresses. They got people like Sidney Poitier. No. Man, they have Vanessa Williams on there. They have Samuel L. Jackson. They have Denzel Washington. They have Halle Berry. I said Vanessa Williams already. Vanessa Williams, Blair Underwood, tons of other people. Matter of fact, Blair Underwood back in the 90s, early 90s, he created he created a short film called The Second Coming. And in this short film, he portrayed a Black Jesus, which was very controversial at the time. And there's even a show with him on the Donahue show. I don't know if you guys know who Donahue is, but Donahue actually had him on his show talking about this and did like a social experiment in regards to a white Jesus and a Black Jesus. Extremely interesting. And if you go onto my YouTube channel and watch the video before this one, you'll be seeing the video that I grabbed of Billy Graham and him actually admitting that Jesus was not white, which very just like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? But then he tried to offset it and said, well, he wasn't Black as some of you either, but he was a man of color. And it was like, okay, so which one is it? You know what I'm saying? He said like the people of his day. And we know based on excavations and reconstructions, what the people at that time, what they would have looked like, right? So this source right here is great if you are interested in an audio Bible and you want to hear it dramatized with good ambient music and sounds and everything. It is phenomenal. But we will have it up for all of our $20 and plus tier patrons. But for now, anybody who's on the Patreon can sample what that is actually for. All right. Also, we have I have a post up where I'm showing a picture of my children. So behind me, and I showed you guys this before because I gave away an Aerogarden. Behind me, I have an Aerogarden. I have another one that's in my kitchen. I have 3 herbs and 3 salad greens that are growing in there. As you can see that back there behind me, right there, that is red sales lettuce. And pretty much I did a post with showing, my children eating it, trying to explain to them what that is and get them familiar with in-home gardening and self-sustainability in regards to food. And I made a post about that. So what we're going to do on our Patreon is that we're going to do another giveaway for our Aerogarden. So we're going to do an Aerogarden giveaway. And an Aerogarden is important because if you're interested in growing your own food, but like, oh, I don't have a green thumb and I don't know how to start. Well, this you can start. You can use their pre-seeded slots that come with it, or you can use your own seeds and sprout them in there and then transplant them later. You know what I'm saying? So you have the options of doing that. All right. So Jordan's Cadet, I'm not capturing this in 4K. It's in 1080p. It's not 4K. I wish it was 4K, but it's in 1080p. All right. But let me show you guys one of the units. This is the sprout system here. Hold on one second. All right, and this is it right here. Here's the Aerogarden right here. This is the sprout system. It holds 3 seeded pods, what they call them, that you drop right in there like this. And with it, you can grow your own food, any kind of herb, any kind of vegetable, fruits like cherry, tomatoes, peppers, etc. And then another one that I have back there is the harvest version that holds 6 pods. And that I'm currently growing dill, mint, thyme, basil, salad greens, which is a mixture of different romaine lettuces and arugula and other things. Black seeded Simpson, Paris Island. Back there is red sales. We also tried the kale and the mixed greens, but that didn't really germinate like I would have wanted them to. So we transplanted those to an outdoor garden that my Usher is doing. But this is good for anybody interested in starting their own garden, feeding yourself. This is a gift that keeps on giving, right? Because this is also a way where you can show your children, because they don't have to have green thumbs to do it. It's very, very simple. It just needs water, comes with Miracle Grow fertilizer, and then it has a light at the top, a full spectrum LED light, and it's on a timer, so it turns on and off by itself. And it also alerts you when the water is low, when the plant food is low, so you can refill it. It's like very simple and basic, right? I'm a big fan of technology. I'm a tech enthusiast and I like gardening. However, gardening is very time consuming and I don't have a lot of time to do it. So having something like that just makes things extremely convenient and allows me to learn about those things in the process. All right. All right. So Yeti Hebrew said Boss Baby is having a ball. Yeah, he's very active right now. So I apologize. Hopefully he's not louder than me and you guys can hear what I'm saying and doesn't distract away from the show. All right, because I want to make sure you guys get good quality on the show. All right. All right. So a couple more things so you guys can take a look at real quick is what else we have on the Patreon. So I also put Hesiod's Theogony from from Near Eastern creation myths to Paradise Lost. So the reason why I added this book is to give you guys a history of Greek mythology from a ancient source that goes back to about I think it's the 7th or 8th century BCE by an individual by the name of Hesiod. And he actually created a theogony or the origin story of where these deities come from. All right. Very fascinating based on the question that was asked to me as far as time and the Most High. You actually get to see the individuals responsible for time because, you know, Kronos is the godfather of time, but it's also fate. It's 3 women of fate, and they also control time as well. It's very, very fascinating stuff when you go and read it, but it's good to know it because some of these ideologies finds its way in Judeo-Christian interpretation of the text because of the Hellenization of the Jews, and then later from these patristic sources or church fathers who came from a Greek background and kind of used that to kind of interpret text, right? Which is extremely false. And then you have scholars like John H. Walton and others who frown upon that. All right. But that's neither here nor there. Also bought a very contemporary book called Rhythms of Rest. Excellent book if you want to learn how to implement the Sabbath in your everyday life. Great book for those who like contemporary reading as well. This is an excellent book on there. And I have a lot of books that are contemporary reading as well, people interested in that. Another book called Daemons and Spirits in Ancient Egypt. So if you want to understand how that system of demonology, quote unquote, works and operates in ancient Egypt, this is an excellent book for it. And I give it so that people are aware of these things. All right. To bring awareness. All right. Now, also 2 other things I want to mention to you. So I also added my paid version of Accordance Bible Study software. I paid a good amount of money for it, and I'm giving our patrons access to it. All right. And then and at the $20 and up tier, and if you go to the $50 and up tier, you get my Logos Bible Study software. So you get the access that I utilize for the software, and I'm continuously adding resources to it out of my own pocket that you would get at no additional cost. All right. These are tools that we recommend for our upcoming KHM Holistic Research Paradigm for Bible Study classes. So we're going to tell you about methods, tools, and sources. Methods, tools, and sources. That's the trinity to interpreting the text, is utilizing a method, tools, and sources. Okay. So 2 of these tools is the Logos software and the Accordance software. And if you sign up for our Patreon, you get access to this paid software at no additional cost. And I'm continuously adding more and more books and resources to these 2 pieces of software. So shout out to everybody that recently downloaded it. They hit me up and said, Divine, man, I love these tools, man. It's excellent. Just what I was looking for. And I said, great, you know, because you have free sources like Bible Hub and Blue Letter Bible. However, these are more customizable. You can add more and more content to it instead of just using what's already there. And you can customize the interface and, you know, the resources that appear and so forth according to your liking. You know, you can make notes on it and everything like that. All right. So again, when you sign up for our Patreon, we're giving you free tools. Okay. 2 Bible study pieces of software that we're giving you at no additional cost as a thank you for your support. So we take care of our patrons. I can't speak on nobody else's Patreon, but for our patrons, we do our giveaways. We give you access to exclusive websites, software, tools, books, all types of stuff. All right. Here's a post that I did on there. Let's respect the creator's handiwork. This has to do with observing nature, being spiritual. Because some people say that, you know, people who are in Israelite community, they don't respect nature or something like that. I guess they're concerned with us not worshiping nature. We're not going to worship something that's a creation, but we will respect it and we pay homage to the creator for creating nature and be good stewards over our environment, right? Because that's the purpose of us having a dietary law, a purpose of not, reaping from the earth continuously, perpetually. You have to let it rest. All of these things has to do with staying synchronized with the ecology of the environment. Okay, this is how we are supposed to operate. We're supposed to be great homesteaders. You know what I'm saying? Like this is what the Most High intends for us to be. A lot of times, a lot of us look down on that because we think that that is something that is outside of our culture, but it's not, right? And this is why you need further study to understand that. Also, a book called a book that I added. I made a post on it called "What's the Meaning of Decapitation in Ancient Near East?" I had to put a post on social media about that, but that book is also available on the Patreon if you want to read it. And it's called "Losing One's Head." What does that mean? It's an idiom. What does that mean in regards to ancient Near Eastern cultures? And I made a relationship between that and David cutting off the head of Goliath. Okay. So go and check out our Patreon when you get a chance. And, you know, like I said, we add tons and tons of stuff to that and continuously add stuff to that. And I know you guys will enjoy it. Okay. All right. So, yes, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Again, if as y'all coming in, hit the thumbs up button, hit the thumbs up button. Again, here, we're not going to spoon feed you here, right? You know, I can tell you my interpretation, my perspective, but I'm giving you everything you need so you can come to your own conclusion, all right? And that's what good teachers do. They don't teach you to think like them. They give you the tools, methods, and sources that allow them to think and come to their conclusions to you to see if you come to the same conclusion. Because if you don't, then you may have some kind of insight that is necessary to teach that person so you guys can grow together, all right? Tony, Israel, Judah, yes, you can burn incense because there's no more temple. All right. The Levites have been scattered. There's no temple. So, yes, you can burn incense. All right. All right. Thank you, Sister Leslie. I appreciate that, Mother Leslie, for posting that in there and helping to get others to support the channel. All right. So Malkaya Uriel says, why Greek mythology? Because a lot of our understanding comes from Greek mythology. Matter of fact, a lot of people who subscribe to the text have a Hellenized worldview. You know how I know? Because I read almost all of Philo's works, Philo of Alexandria, and a lot of brothers have that perspective on the text. They don't even realize it. He was a Hellenized Jew that lived in Alexandria in Egypt. And a lot of stuff that he taught, I see it in the community. So what I'm trying to do is show people how to research the source of these things. Right. Shout out to Sister Minnie Love in the building. Mac, hashtag 80SLEE. Shalom, shalom. Shermont Stroman. Shalom, shalom. All right. So hopefully that works. All right. Anytime, Tony Israel Judah. No problem, my brother. All right. Because remember, the scripture says in Exodus chapter 19, verse 6, the Most High said that all of Israel will be priests unto him. Right. That can only happen when the Levites are scattered and there's no temple. And therefore, we have to practice some kind of priestly customs in our exile. The Most High expects for us to keep our cultural mandates while in exile. In Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 1 to verse 4 or 5 outlines that. All right. Okay. So with that also, now, remember I told you guys about the Bible experience, that audio Bible dramatized reading from all these Black actors and actresses with orchestral music and ambient sounds in the background. Well, I'm gonna do one better. I'm gonna do a giveaway. All right, here's the giveaway. Okay, so this giveaway that I have here, I'm gonna give the entire thing away. Let me show it to you so you can see it. This is all of the audio CDs. I'm gonna give it away to somebody who supports this channel. Okay, now the Aerogarden that I'm going to give away, that's just going to be, you know, you got to sign up for the Patreon to get that. But this right here, all of these audio CDs, you see this? All of these I have digitally because you can't get them digitally no more, right? But all of these audio CDs are all the books of the what's called the Old Testament Tanakh or Hebrew Bible, all right? I'm going to give this away, all right? You see that? The official right there. Hold on. Let me make sure you can see that. You see that? I'm gonna give this away. All right. This is very expensive, and they barely sell it anymore. But I'm gonna give that away. Now, when we hit our 400 patrons, when we hit our 400 patrons, I'm going to give that away to somebody on our YouTube channel, because our YouTube channel are the individuals that sign up for the Patreon. So as a thank you, we're going to do a giveaway once we hit 400 patrons, and I'm going to give this away to somebody on this channel. So if you are brand new, hit that subscribe button. All right. Hit that bell notification. All right. And select all so you don't miss any of our updates and posts and comments and videos and everything else we put on here, whether it's the community tab or the videos tab. So that way, when that time comes, you'll be able to get the Bible experience set for free. I'm giving it away. All right. And if you sign up for the Patreon, you get the digital version. But when we hit 400 patrons, we're going to give away the physical version. All right. Again, there's no place that's giving away stuff like this. We just give stuff away to y'all. You know what I'm saying? Everything relative to the vision of this ministry. All right. Okay. So with that being said, let's move forward. I want to give a shout out to all of our new KHM members that recently signed up, went through the process of becoming a member. Thank you. Thank you for everybody who's continuously supporting the ministry with their membership. You're enabling us to have a surplus of funding for those who have needs, also to create our resources that we need in-house, put forth our programs and our services, keep everything flowing within the ministry, make sure that the chapters have the things that they need. And there's an emergency and you need something, we'll be able to give it to you, and giving you access to free services and programs based on your investments. All right. So thank you to everybody who's continuously giving their membership dues, keeping the ministry running. We greatly appreciate that. Now that we're approaching summer and a lot of restrictions have been lifted of COVID-19, we're going to get more active physically in the community. All right. So if you are part of the KHM team, all right, and you're not actively doing anything, nothing's been assigned to you, you're not part of a group or anything like that, please give us a call. The number's there on the screen, and see how you can get involved. We don't just want to collect money from you or membership dues without you being active. The purpose of you doing it is to invest so you can get connected, get plugged in, and get active. All right, that's the goal. We train you, we equip you, give you a support team, give you assignments. We out there in the street doing what we do, doing things behind the scenes, think tanking things. So many things are going on, services and programs, all of these things, skills, everything you can get. We have a whole ecosystem of support once you join the ministry. All right. And if you're not getting the most out of it, you need to let us know. All right. Now, I want to give a shout out to my brother, Jamal Sampson, and his wife and his Isha. They have a business called Yaz Manna. All right. Now, let me bring it up on the screen so y'all can see it on the screen real quick. They did. I mean, this thing is phenomenal. Phenomenal. They sent me a gift package. And again, what they make is well, let me show you the site so you can see. And then I can show you off what I got. This is an excellent way for us to keep culture within our community. All right. Keeping culture within our community. Here it is. All right. And this is the website right here. It's called Yaz Manna. Okay. Yaz Manna. All right. And what they sell is tableware sets. All right. And their tableware sets, you can see on the screen, has all characters from the text, but they are melanated characters from the text. All right. So I got a 4 tableware set where I got one was Daniel and the Lion's Den. Another one was David and Goliath. Another one was Yeshua and his disciples. And the third one, I think is Yosef, if I'm not mistaken. But this stuff is phenomenal. Let me show it to you on screen, right? Show it to you on the screen. All right, this right here is a tumbler or a cup that comes with a set. Everything is made out of bamboo. Everything is biodegradable. Everything is machine washer friendly. This is the fork and the spoon. This is the little bowl that comes with it. And this is the plate. You can see Goliath and David. All right. Excellent. Somebody within our own community that is producing tableware for us to get as a way of training our children to identify themselves with the characters and vice versa. Identify their characters with themselves. Excellent. I mean, this is wonderful artwork that's placed on here. Again, melanated characters that reflect what they would have looked like during that period of time. And I'm gonna drop the link there in the chat if you want to order some tableware for your children and support this business within our community. It's wonderful. Again, we're all about autonomy here. Every time I learn about something that's going on in the community, I want to share it with the rest of y'all so you guys can patronize it, because autonomy is self-sufficiency, self-governance, being able to create all of the programs, goods, services, and products to sustain ourselves instead of going outside of our community and getting it. We have everything in-house. We just had to put it all together, and that's what KHM is doing. So shout out to my brother Jamal Sampson, who's over at KHM Los Angeles chapter. So if you're in the Los Angeles area or anywhere in Southern California, please reach out to our KHM Los Angeles team. But please go and get you some Yasmana tableware to support their business. All right. And I dropped the link in the chat. Okay. All right. Another showcase for another business in our community, all right, is Caribbean Kitchen. My brother Vaughn Parker, all right, who's over Great Awakening Assembly of Orlando. He actually has seasonings and other products for those of you who love Caribbean food. All right. This one here is the country style seasoning. All right. Right here. Let me see if the camera can focus on it. There we go. All right. This one here is the curry blend, country style seasoning. All right. And for those of you who love jerk, here's the jerk seasoning. All right. Made, owned, and operated by our own. You understand? This is not from some third party. This is within our community, somebody that actually is creating products for our people. Okay. So again, if you're interested in this, I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys, drop the link in the chat so you guys can patronize. And anybody out there, if you have a business, a not-for-profit, products or goods that you want me to feature on here, and I told people, I said, look, don't give me no affiliate links. I'm not trying to make no money off of that, right? I want them to get every penny from me promoting their products, because I want everybody to shine, everybody to eat and feed their families and increase their livelihood around me. All right. If you're the only person eating, everybody else is starving around you, something is wrong. So I'm not trying to take any crumbs off nobody's plates. I want them to keep all of it. All right. So I just want y'all to patronize it, get the word out there, share it. Again, we have tons of stuff within our community. All right. All right. So let me show it to you real quick. I'm going to show you. Let me see. I think I have the link here. Let me bring it up. I'm going to drop it in the chat so you guys have it. All right. Let me grab that link real quick. All right. Let me show it to y'all. Again, email us if you have any business or service, product, or good for the community. Email it to us and I will feature it on here for you. And also what we're going to start doing is interviewing people behind these things. So allow them an opportunity to pitch to you what their vision is, why they create their product, good, or service, and what they're seeking to accomplish for the Most High's kingdom. All right. Jordan's crazy. All right. So go ahead and click that and support our family. All right. All right, so I want to make sure that out there. All right, so also I want you guys to know that the KHM, the Truth Works mixtape, is completed. All praise to the Most High. It is completed. All right. So what that means is that if you're interested in purchasing, now we're going to release it officially on Monday, right? But if you're interested in putting in your order now for the mixtape, all right, it's a donation of $10 or more. The link is right there in the chat. All right. So all you do is click the link, and therefore you can sign up. Let me show you what it looks like on the screen. This is it right here. And again, thank you to our members of KHM who paid their membership dues that allowed us to create this product for the community. And thank you to all my project managers that completed this project. They did a phenomenal job getting great artists on here and making this come true. All right. So if you're interested in the mixtape, fire songs. Again, if you don't have volume 1 or volume 2, you need to highlight us. All right. We have a package where you can get all 3 for $20. All right. Because otherwise it's $30 because it's $10 each. But for $20, we'll give you all 3 if you're interested in getting all 3 mixtapes. Some of y'all have 1 and 2. Some of y'all have 1, no 2. Some of you have 2, no 1. Some of you have none of them. All right. Here's the chance to get it, because once we finish selling this, okay, once this is out there, not selling it, but raising donations, this is all going towards KHMMG, Kingdom Harbinger Ministries music group. We're creating a music label for our community, so that way we can give all the resources to artists necessary to be successful, and also to promote them on secular platforms as a means of pushing the truth out there to the public. All right. So all the funding we're saving for this is going towards creating our own music label that we have within our own community, owned and operated by us. All right. So if you're interested in getting this, the link is in the chat. Click the link. It'll also be in the description below at the end of this video. And you guys can then support our ministry and our endeavors by listening to this music, getting, to know more music artists in the community, stretching out your different tastes in music and the different genres that we have on here. It's a phenomenal mixtape, man. I listen to it every day. Okay. And that's what I did with the other 2. I listen to it every day until we work towards our next project. So again, that link is there in the chat. It will also be down below if you're interested in getting it. It's a donation of $10 or more, and we'll send it out to you. And if you're interested in getting all 3, email us at kingdomharbinger@gmail.com, and then we'll create the bundle package for you. Okay. All right. Wanted to get that away as well. All right. Now, also, we will be at the Atlanta Juneteenth Festival. All right. The Atlanta Juneteenth Festival. All right. It's a 3-day festival that starts Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for Juneteenth out here in Atlanta. I'm going to share in the chat for anybody that's in the Atlanta area, if you're interested in going to the Juneteenth Festival that happens out here. They typically have it at Centennial Park, which is downtown Atlanta. And I'm going to show for you the site, so you can take a look at the site and you can see for yourself. Let me see. Hold on. Let me bring it up. You can see for yourself. But the link is there in the chat, which gives you the details that you need to know about it. Let's see. Where is it at? Just had it up. I don't know why it's not there. All right, let's take a look. Here it is. All right, there it is right here. And again, the link is in the chat. So if you're in the Atlanta area, right here, June 18th to the 20th, 2021, all roads lead to Centennial Olympic Park, Juneteenth Atlanta Festival dates and times. So we will be out there. KHM will be out there. Other people will be out there. So come and spend some time with us and let's chill. All right. Asantua, yes, it does. You will get all 3. Yes, we have both physical CDs and we have digital version. So we have a digital version of the mixtape and physical CDs. All right. You let us know what you want. All right. Judah Cypher said he'll be there. Look forward to seeing you there, King. Look forward to meeting you there. All right. All right. So, So I just wanted to mention that to you in case you was interested. Now, some people asked me a perspective on Juneteenth. Okay. So if you don't know, I'm going to show you the article real quick. Let me touch on this as we move forward. All right. Let me touch on this real quick as far as Juneteenth. All right. Here's an article from The Guardian. And they said Juneteenth becomes a federal holiday celebrating the end of slavery in the U.S. Biden signs bill at jubilant ceremony as U.S. takes steps to confront shameful history. Now, remember, I told y'all there are some conservative representatives in Congress from conservative states that want to get out the 1619 Project out of schools, which teaches children about the history of slavery and what this nation has done to people of color. They want to get rid of it. But here, Juneteenth, I think it's awesome that Juneteenth as now is considered as a national holiday. But what are you celebrating? What are you celebrating? All Juneteenth was word went back to Galvin, Texas, to tell those last remaining slaves that you're free. And now Congress says, and Biden says, we're going to turn this to a holiday. There you go. They're throwing us crumbs because they don't want to get to reparations. See? So they're doing things to keep you distracted, keep you think, we're making progress. Y'all still slaves. Slavery by another name. We didn't get out of that captivity. We didn't. Study the history behind that. I got tons of sources on that. Okay. So I like the fact that, hey, more people are getting involved into Black African-American culture, and we can wear our red, black, and green and throw our fist up and go out there and play ethnic music and wear our different garbs and stuff on. All of that sounds great, but that's just to pacify you. Okay. That's just to give you a sense of, oh, we're making progress. There's no progress being made. This is all a sleight of hand. All right. The U.S. will officially recognize Juneteenth, which commemorates the end of slavery in America, as a federal holiday after Joe Biden signed a bill into law on Thursday. A jubilant White House ceremony, the president emphasized the need for the U.S. to reckon with this history, even when that history is shameful. Great nations don't ignore their most painful moments, Biden said, before he established what will be known as the Juneteenth National Independence Day. Great nations don't walk away. We come to terms with the mistakes we made, and remembering those moments, we begin to heal and grow. Now, it's interesting that Juneteenth was in June, and then next month we have on July 4th, Independence Day, and during that period of time, we weren't independent. Yet, we're going to see a lot of our people celebrate Independence Day. Why? You was not independent during that time. So what you celebrating it for? But okay, whatever the case may be. But this is a way of pacifying you, saying, oh, we got to come to our mistake. We made a mistake. We made a mistake. Well, every time the U.S. has made a mistake with a lot of other groups, let me see, made a mistake in regards to getting involved in World War II and everything happening to the Jews that lived there. They got reparations. Had issues with Native Americans. They got reparations. Issues with detaining the Japanese during World War II. They got reparations. Slave owners that lost their slaves due to federal law got reparations. The slave masters. They didn't say, oh, we're going to make a national holiday for you. They gave them reparations. So this is just crumbs. Here you go. Take this, take that. Shut up. All right, go away for a little while. Come back, we'll give you another crumb. Where's the reparations at? This doesn't mean anything. What they should have done is protest and say, look, we're not going to accept Juneteenth as a holiday without reparations. Where's the reparations? So what I realized is that reparations is not going to come the way you think they're going to come. You must create your own reparations, because reparations has a root word repair, and it's not just financial. They need to create institutions to help with post-traumatic slave disorder, because no institution of healing was created for African Americans to be healed from the trauma that we and our ancestors experienced by means of slavery here in this country. So what good is them giving you money if you don't have the mental fortitude to know what to do with it? The most important thing you can do is preserve your culture. They give you an amalgamated form of culture, not your pure culture. What we try to do here at KHM is help to restore culture back to our community so that we can truly be repaired. But Juneteenth, although Juneteenth is nice, I like going out to the Juneteenth events. Been doing it since 2014. I think they're awesome. I think they're great. Now it's a holiday. Okay, people get off the day from work, whatever the case may be. At the end of the day, they still didn't give you reparations. At the end of the day, they're still shooting, beating, and killing you. Matter of fact, let me show you what's going on in the news today. Since if you didn't know, all right, let me show it to y'all. Let me show it to y'all in case y'all don't know about that. What's going on? I just want to bring it to y'all so you guys can see this. All right, just take a look at this, because even though you're getting reparations, I want to show you some stuff. All right, because black on black crime is still existent. All right, police brutality is still existent. Our communities still impoverished, still existent. All right, having the worst cases of disease in America still existent. Heart disease, #1 killer of African Americans in this country, still existent. Not teaching you history in public schools, still existent. Red taping you away, or redlining, away from getting ideal property in real estate, still existent. Keeping you out of prime property, still existent. Stereotyping, still existent. Promoting music that encourages the murder, rape of our people, still existent. Removing taboos off of certain ways that we dress and talk and do because it perpetuates the cycle of destruction, still existent. None of these things have been repaired. Juneteenth is not going to fix this. Do y'all understand? Y'all are okay. Now, I'm not talking about my audience, but I'm talking generally, are okay with accepting the crumbs from Massa. Okay, Massa, thank you for the crumbs, Massa. I appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, Massa, I'm gonna go back and do this. When a black person gets shot and killed by the police, you'll protest. Protesting don't mean nothing if the policy does not change. Protesting doesn't mean nothing unless you take control of the political system. Protesting doesn't mean nothing unless you own the land in which these things are taking place. Protesting doesn't mean nothing if you don't have the enforcers in place to ensure that no harm will come across people in our community. I gave you a plan on how to build your own cityhood. I've been talking about this for a long time. So Juneteenth, albeit something that's commemorative, and commendable, does not fix the problem. It does not fix the problem. All right, so let me show y'all what's going on in the world in case you didn't know what was going on in the world out here, how police are still doing what they want to do. Y'all let me know if Juneteenth is going to fix this. Let me know if Juneteenth is going to fix that. That's just going to know, right? This incident occurred about 2 years ago. And things are just now coming to light as far as these officers getting losing their job and everything like that. But I just want y'all to see something. Y'all let me know if reparations is going to fix this. All right. I just want to know if reparations is going to fix that. Take a look. Y'all let me know. I just want to know if reparations is going to fix this. Juneteenth, reparations, is that going to fix this? Just let me know if that's going to fix this. I'd like to know. Is that going to stop police brutality? Is that going to stop poverty in the community? Remember I told y'all about the UN and this 10-year program that they have, which is actually more feasible than what the U.S. is giving you. However, the U.S. don't want to implement none of it. They created a whole report talking about all the atrocities and injustices that the U.S. is perpetuating upon people of color in this country, and how the U.S. are not doing anything substantial to change any of that. And you think by giving you passing a bill into law, Juneteenth is a holiday, that's going to give you some form of liberation? Nah, it's not going to do that. It's not going to do that. But let me show you something that they are concerned with. Let's show you something. Let me show you this. Let me show you this. All right. Let me show you this. This is something that's of high importance to us. I mean, not to us, to the Biden administration. Here it is. Check it out. Here's what the new hate crimes law aims to do as attacks on Asian Americans rise. Did you know that there's also a lot of Asian attacks on blacks, but no anti-hate crime bill was passed when blacks were being attacked by Asians in America? And again, this is no shot at anybody who's Asian that watches this show, because we do have people who are Asian that watch the show. Again, I'm not attacking you personally. I'm just simply trying to show you what real power looks like. Black folk don't have no power. Asian community, they have power. Because what happens is, once you start getting an attack, you see what happens? Asians show up at the White House, and now this guy's signing this. You know what happens with black people? Juneteenth. Yeah, Biden signing Juneteenth. And y'all still getting beat upside your head. Y'all still getting beat up. When you have power, you negotiate. When you're powerless, you protest. It's a big difference. It's a big difference. Big difference. Okay. All right. I'm just waiting on this. The anti-black or anti-Afro-American hate bill. How come Biden didn't sign that for y'all? Are y'all just okay with Juneteenth? Y'all still didn't get reparations? Oh, man. Y'all think that's going to change? I told you what to do. You have to start at the local level and take over your cities. Scripture tells you to do that. Seek the peace of the city. On behalf of y'all, for in this peace, you shall have peace. The reason why you don't have peace, Israelites, because you're not getting involved into the affairs of your city. That light should be there and shine so bright. It should attract people to it and should enact change. Okay. All right. But it is what it is. I don't see no black people showing up with Biden and say, yo, sign this, son. We want reparations and we want anti-hate crime bills. You know what black people had to do? March and protest all last year. And we've been doing this for almost 120 years. Marching and protesting. And then finally last year, there was some inkling of change. And you know what they do? They say, oh, we're going to convict this cop now for you. Yeah, progress. Yo, our people are so gullible, man. It's crazy. You know what Asians do? They show up at the White House. Say, yo, son, sign this, yo. That's what they go in there, smack Biden upside the head. Like, oh, like, yo, you see what's going on? Yo, sign this, man. Sign that. Okay, we're gonna sign that. You know why? Because a lot of these Asians have dual citizenship. A lot of these Asians are on visa cards, green cards over here, and they're property of China. You know, African Americans, who can you call? You got an army, you got a state, you got a nation that's gonna come defend you? You do? Where's it at? Don't tell me you on Timbuktu. Don't tell me about your Moorish Science Temple. And I'm not talking about the Moorish Science Temple of America, but there are Moors within our community that believe in the white sovereignty system. And they adopt it for their own selves. And they say all this other stuff. And I say to them, well, when you get arrested, whose court you going to? Yours, or you going to the federal government court, state government court, local court? You don't have no nation coming for you. But these Asians, okay. All right. See, talks like this, I got to reserve for my Let's Talk About series for Patreon. Sign up for Patreon if you want to get the Let's Talk About series, because I'm going to do less talks like this on here, and it's all going to be reserved for our Let's Talk About It series on Patreon. That's our video, a podcast on Patreon that's coming soon. But I just want to pull it out because I just want our people to know this is not revolution. Y'all not enacting no revolution. Showing guns. Now I'm going to show you this. I see tons of videos of white people with guns. And again, this is not an attack on white people. Matter of fact, y'all saw the build I had on my last live stream. It was a 70-year-old white kid, and we had a build. I'm just trying to tell you the facts. There be videos out there of white people with guns, assault rifles, handguns, all of that, practicing shooting and all of that, and it's okay. The moment a black person do that, and let's say they get arrested, like we saw, like that guy, Gwinnett County, get hit upside his head, and they see some picture of, oh, he got guns, he's a terrorist. For the white person, oh, he's just doing this to protect his home and his family. That's why you don't see me pull no guns out on camera. I'm not going to do that, because all something got to happen is I get caught up in some kind of controversy and somebody go back and show that picture. Look, he got guns. He's a terrorist. He's a black identity extremist. You see the okay. I just want y'all to see the hypocrisy that's going on in this nation. Y'all thinking Juneteenth is going to fix it? Okay. Y'all thinking financial reparations is going to fix that? Okay. Y'all think that? That's fine. The revolution starts first with reconstructing and restoring your culture. And with that culture, you create a more close-knit community. And out of that community comes autonomy, self-sufficiency, self-governance. When you detach the umbilical cord of the state and the federal government from out of your life and take matters in your own hands, then you will power. And then when you produce content, goods, services, and products, and add value to it based on how it circulates within your community, and to keep external dollars from investing in it, and then using your IP and intellectual property to create solutions for world problems that can only come from us, because we're still tethered to the divine. Now you have some power. Y'all don't want power. But the Most High is here to imbue you with power. And I tell you guys all the time, oh, Deuteronomy 28, the curses. Wait, but if you live in Torah, why are you still on the curses? Collectively, yes, those of us who are lost will still be, suffering the consequences of their ancestors. However, those of you who are awake, why are you still going through these curses? Why are you still going through these curses? Huh? Oh, are you keeping Torah? What? Okay. All right. All right. Let's move forward. We're going to move forward. All right. Also, two other things. Please, if y'all are interested in getting a Bachelor of Theology from an Israelite institution owned and operated by us, please, I need you guys to sign up for the Hebraic Institute of Theology. The Hebraic Institute of Theology. And let's get your bachelor's degree, okay? I want to let you know right now the tuition is only $25 a month until you complete your bachelor's. Now, the master's and doctor of ministry will be a little bit more. However, when that second accreditation kicks in, the tuition is going to get higher. So get in now while you can, so you can get you a Bachelor of Theology and be able to bring credence to what we're doing as a people and a movement. Okay. The link is right there. I gave it to y'all. Check it out. Be a part of it. You can't be $25 tuition for an accredited university. You just can't. Get in now while you can before things change. All right. And they will have to change, and because the accreditation is going to require your tuition to be industry standard. Okay. All right. So last thing, and then we're going to get into what I want to talk about on tonight is on Sunday, we have, and that's called Father's Day, right? On Sunday, there's going to be a session that's coming out, the Healthy Mind series. I was supposed to be on the last session, but the power went out in my house, which was crazy. But let me go ahead and show you guys this so you guys can sign up for this on Eventbrite. Again, one thing that I've always been a fan on are programs, services, lectures, this dialogues, conversations in regards to healing. The last session dealt with men and women. This session is specifically with men. Men, all of us men, we have egos. Even me, we all do. I'm not exempt from any of this. I'm also speaking to myself when I speak to y'all. And a lot of times that ego gets hurt when we are vulnerable or allow ourselves to be vulnerable. But because of that, there's a lot of weight on our men's shoulders. And because of such, they do not want to show any signs of weakness. They think vulnerability equals weakness, and that's not always the case. And a lot of times our men don't get the healing that they deserve to be proper fathers, husbands, leaders in their homes, in their community. So we have to talk about this stuff. We have to talk about this stuff. All right. And me and my brother, David Gillespie, who is over our KHM DMV chapter, we are going to talk about this. We're going to bring up this conversation. So men, if you are listening to this, please sign up and let us open up to one another, pour out and pour in, and let's get healing. Okay? The women ain't going to be there. It's just going to be us men. And a lot of y'all have so much pent up testosterone because you do not want to let your guard down amongst your brothers so you can get the proper healing, so you don't have to impose your masculinity on others. See, if you have to impose your masculinity on somebody else, there's an issue with you. That's called projection, right? It's a self-defense mechanism, right? I went to school for psychology when I went to CUNY College, all right, in New York, all right? So that's an issue. This self-defense mechanisms happen when you see certain things that occur and you know how to create a profile and identify it. So again, this is for the men. It's the Healthy Mind series presents Men Get Your Mind to Act Right. That's important. Okay. So again, please, I dropped the link in the chat. I'll drop the link again. Shout out to Force the Kid. Thank you so much for the donation. I appreciate that. All right. Bait Yisrael, are you asking about the Hebraic Institute of Theology? It's online for now. But when COVID and everything subsides, there'll be a physical location that you can come to as well. All right. All right. So again, this is healing for the men. All right. Come and get healed, man. All right. Living from trauma personally, from our lives or different teachings that may have messed us up over the years, or, different abuse that may have happened to us. We have to let it out somewhere. We need an outlet. We need healing. We need comradeship. We need to be stronger for our community, because we fight an uphill battle in protecting and providing for our community. And it's not easy. It is definitely not easy. All right. So please sign up for it. The link is in the chat. Let's get healed. All right. And that's the one thing that I see the less participation in is anything that deal with healing. Man, I don't want to. No, I don't want to deal with it. We've all done it. I've been there. We don't want that because it makes us feel weak. That's how you get stronger, not weaker. That's how you get stronger. But let's see how many people sign up for this. We got thousands of views on all of our videos. And looking at all the analytics, most of them are men. Let's see how many men sign up for this. I want to see. All right, here you go. Honey Badger 101 says, does anybody know exactly what fornication means? Yes, I know what fornication means. It comes from the Greek word porneia or porneos, which literally means the selling off of something. That's what it means. Now, if you want to understand what it means within context of Corinthians, where he's talking about flee fornication, you have to look at the temple of Aphrodite in that region, in Corinth, and understand what the temple prostitutes were and what their job was. Very fascinating stuff. But fornication, or where the word fornication comes from, is not what we think it means. Some people think that means premarital sex. If you can give me a verse that shows me that fornication means premarital sex, let me know. Show it to me. Now, does that mean that premarital sex was okay? I'm not saying that. All right. That was a taboo. However, fornication does not mean that. Now, where did that definition come from? It came from the church. When the church became an institution. That's where the history of that comes from. But you know what? Maybe some people may not think, Divine, you know what you're talking about. Even with a degree and all of that now, you think you're getting fancy on us, giving us your opinion. I'm not giving you my opinion. Let's go to it. Mind you, I gave some of y'all on the Patreon, you got the Concordance Bible software and you got the Logos Bible software. You can do these same studies within those tools. But I'm going to show you the free version for those of you who are not signed up for the Patreon so that everybody can see what I'm talking about. And after I address this, I need to segue into what I want to talk about because I think it's very important, especially when we're trying to connect with our children today and see how our ancestors viewed things in regards to children. What is the perspective of a child in the ancient Near East, more particularly in Israel? All right, that's what I want to touch on real quick, and why boys being born or sons being born was so important. We're gonna get into that, and that does not to take away from the importance that the female had, but the things that they encountered as a people back then are different than what we experience today. So the key thing is to learn everything within this cultural, historical, and linguistic context. And then again, one-to-one map it, do a correspondence between that to something that lines up with it here so we can properly and faithfully reconstruct and restore the culture back in a contemporary world. Okay. All right. So Juneteenth is a pagan holiday. I don't know what you mean. Pagan means country dweller. That means those on the outskirts of the city that don't want to conform to the state-sponsored religion of the urbanization areas of the country. So I don't like using that word pagan because it has new connotations that don't really give you the essence of its source or origin. All right, you get Judeo-Christian connotations to that word. I don't like that word. But it is a secular holiday. People who are outside the Israelite culture are responsible for creating it and giving it to people within the Israelite culture. Now, if you want to call that pagan, it's up to you, but I'm not going to call it pagan. I like Juneteenth. Like I said, I celebrate Juneteenth every year because it gives me an opportunity to connect with my brothers and sisters, getting involved in culture and stuff like that. But it's not going to change anything. It's not going to fix anything. But let me get into this word study. All right. Now, those of you, if you do have the 2 Bible software programs from the Patreon, you can also do these word studies in various lexicons and dictionaries that we have within the Bible study software. So what I'm going to do is go to a free resource so that way you can actually see what's going on here. And again, there's a lot of studying to be done about this. You have to be very careful on how you teach this because people will use any excuse to do the wrong thing, right? I'm not an advocate for what's called premarital sex, but what do you mean premarital? Right? What is marriage? What is marriage? And through whose cultural lens are you establishing this term marriage? It varies from culture to culture. What's considered marriage here in America is different from marriage in a place like Zimbabwe or a place like, Mongolia, you know what I'm saying? Or a place like, East India, you know what I'm saying? That concept of marriage, it shifts and changes based on the culture and the nation that you're in. All right. So because we're in America, do we have to conform to American standards of what marriage is? No. There's so-called freedom of expression of religion. So according to your religion, how they view culture as religion, there are certain ways that you culturally do things that may be opposed to American culture. A lot of Western culture has taken over a lot of the things that we think a marriage is supposed to be. So we have to repair that. See, reparation goes to say, look, that's American culture. That's not our culture. We're going to restore our old culture into a contemporary environment today, so that way we can be in alignment with the patron deity of our ancestors. So that way he can empower us now to do what he wills for us to do. But I want to get into this. So let me get into this for the sister, because she asked for it. And I know that sister is very sincere. That's why I want to touch on that. All right. Because I know she sincerely wants to know this. So I'm going to show this to you. All right. And for the record, they say we don't teach on this channel. I just want to make sure that's out there. People say we don't teach on this channel. Right. But check it out. Now, also, you got to be mindful of the translations. Like I said, I know a lot of people don't read the translator's notes. Some people don't even read the footnotes of critical edition Bibles. Some people don't even go and get lexicons to look up certain words. Some people don't make the efforts to learn the language. And I encourage you to do all of that. And that's what we're here to do, train you to do all those things. But what I try to do is interest you in going those routes by showing you something simplistic within the text. So 1 Corinthians chapter 6. Now you got to understand this word that we're looking up here. I'm going to give y'all some homework. Go back to the LXX or the Septuagint and look for the word I'm about to show you in the Greek in the New Testament. See if you can find it in the Septuagint and see what word it closely aligns with. That's important. Okay, that's the best way we can do the closest correlation between the New Testament Greek to an Old Testament version of the text. And in this case, the Septuagint, right? So what we see here, now check it out. Look, I'm going to show you why people mess up what this fornication thing is. Let's read it. 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 12, right? Let me zoom in some more so you can see it, all right? Now, Paul says, listen to how he starts. All things are lawful for me, but not all things are helpful. Let's keep that in mind. Listen to what he's saying. All things are lawful for me, but I will not be dominated by anything. Now, what could he be talking about? Well, if we keep reading, he mentions food and something called sexual immorality. Now, gluttony was not a state capital offense, okay? You eat whatever you want, all right? But Paul, he kept the dietary law, so that's one thing. But also, prostitution was legal in a lot of places. Matter of fact, it was tolerated in ancient Israel. The scripture says for a man not to turn a daughter of Zion into a prostitute, right? But in some cases, women transition to that role because they have no male head of household to support them or their family, so they have to take care of themselves. So even though it was taboo, even though it was frowned upon, it was still tolerated within ancient Israel. That did not make it okay. So again, you got to listen to what Shaul is saying to understand context. And you got to do research of Corinth and what was going on in Corinth. Now, I'm going to break some of that down for you real briefly. I don't want to get too much in depth of this because I'll get distracted. But ultimately, I will be touching on this sometime in the future. It's a very sensitive topic because I don't want to put anything out there for people to abuse. But I'm going to tell you the truth if you ask me. All right. He says, food is meant for the stomach and stomach for food. And the Most High will destroy both, one and the other. The body is not meant for what? Sexual immorality, but for the Lord, it says, and the Lord for the body. And listen to this. And God raised the Lord and will also raise us up by his power. Verse 15, do you not know that your bodies are members of Christ? Shall I then take the members of Christ and make them the members of what? A prostitute. Sexual immorality is connected to prostitution. I'm just reading it in English, but I'm going to get you back into the Greek. Just roll with me, all right? He says, never. Or do you not know that he who is joined to a prostitute becomes one body with her? For as it is written, the two will become one flesh. What does that mean? Well, if you go back, according to Paul's theology, it's Paul's theology, that in Genesis chapter 2, when the Most High, not from the rib of man, he didn't make her from the little rib, because the word for rib is not there in the text. It's the inner chamber, whatever that may mean, that Eve was drafted up from the inner chamber. Then it says, flesh of my flesh, bone of my bone, right? You shall be called Eve, the mother of living, blah, blah, blah. And therefore a man shall leave his mother and father, and he shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall become one, right? So he's saying that if you as a man, and he's talking to the men here, okay, listen, take it to the men, because you have pronouns in the Greek. So we know if he's saying her in the Greek and the pronoun is there with the gender of feminine, then we know he's referring to men. He's talking to the men because of something that's going on in Corinth, that these people had a secular background, bringing it into the ecclesia, the called out group of individuals, right? He says, or do you not know that when the two is joined to a prostitute becomes one body, wherefore, as it is written, the two will become one flesh. But he who is joined to the Lord becomes one spirit with him. Flee from sexual immorality. Every other sin a person commits is outside the body, but the sexually immoral person sins against his own body. Or do you not know that your body is a temple for the Holy Spirit within you, whom you have for God? You're not of your own, for you were bought with a price. So glorify God in your body. Sexual immorality, prostitute. Sexual immorality, prostitution. It has nothing to do with premarital sex. It's not what he's talking about. Prostitute. Let's go into the words. All right. In case you think I'm making this up. And again, I'm being very sensitive with this. I just want y'all to see this. This is very, very important. You know, I like to say that. I do it instinctively. I don't intend to say it, but it just comes out. But check it out. Let's go here to this word, sexual immorality, right? Show you how to use some tools, right? You click on a verse, it'll bring you here. Up top, you're gonna click on where it says interlinear. Interlinear at the top has the Greek. It has the Greek, in the middle. At the top, it has the Greek transliteration, and at the bottom, it has the English translation. The same way it's read in the Greek, so it doesn't use proper English syntax, because it is replicating the Greek in the English. So the way it's read in Greek is reflected in English, all right? So here's the thing that we got to look at as we go down, right? We're looking for that word sexual immorality. We find it here, right? Porneia, right? Porneia, okay? When we click on that, 4202, and we scroll down, it says porneia, in the Helps Word Studies, the root of the English terms pornography, pornographic, pornos, which is derived from pornao, to sell off. Properly, a selling off, surrendering of sexual purity, promiscuity of any and every type. They added that part. But if you go to pornos in 4205, what does that mean? It says, look, it comes from pornao, to sell off properly, a male prostitute. Pornos is properly a male prostitute. In the New Testament, any fornicator, from the Abbot Smith, that's their interpretation, i.e. anyone engaged in sexual immorality. Now, when they say male prostitute, there's a particular context for that. However, in this case, because of the Greek pronoun, which we can go back and take a look at ourselves, the Greek pronoun is there, where it says, you know, when you join yourself to her, let's go back to that, and we grab that to her, right? Here, verse 16. Interlinear, right? Or not know you that the one being joined, kolomentos, te porne hen soma, estin esantai, guard fesin, hoi dio es, sarka beyond, right? It says, or do you not know that the one being joined to the prostitute, one body will become, for it says the two into one flesh. Go back to the word. Hold on. Where's the word? Let me go back to the word. Go back to the word. Well, it's going to be in the verse prior to that. Matter of fact, let's jump down to verse 18, because we have it there in verse 18 as well. All right. Again, porneon, Porneon. Sexual immorality. You can click on that. You go into your helps word studies. It's the selling off of something. That's what it means. Prostitution, you're selling off your sexual purity. And you're defiling yourself with men. Has nothing to do, it's not saying about premarital sex. Because some of these women probably already, probably some of them were married. If you go back and look at the temple that was at Corinth, or the Aphrodite temple at Corinth, you had temple prostitutes. And men will go and have sex with these temple prostitutes as a means of cleansing themselves. It's really crazy. But it existed. And they would pay, an amount of money for the service. And then that will be collected by the priests or priestesses of the temple. You can go and look that up yourself. They try to give you a contrasting term, but technically it has to do with selling off. Now let's go back to the word he uses for prostitute. Okay? Because again, that's important. All right? Because you see what's going on here. The context. What is the word he uses there? The same word. A derivation of the same word. And they translate it as prostitute because they understand the cultural and historical and geographical background of what's going on. Y'all understand? Okay. All right. So we're going to exit out of that. Hopefully, I don't know if the sister's still there. Let me know. Sister Millie Love. I'm not going to let the cart before the horse. So I've discussed that with you and a couple other people before, and we're gonna teach on that sometime in the future, right? I'm gonna do a whole presentation on that. Okay. But again, when you understand the culture, it silences dogma. Dogma tries to just talk very loud and say something based on what they want you to accept as being incontrovertibly true, something that a church organization lays down for it to be unchallenged and for you to accept it as being incontrovertibly true. We go back and study and say, no, this is not talking about premarital sex. It has to do with prostitution. And all I'm asking you to do is go back and look at this word in a Septuagint to see what Hebrew words it translates into that Greek word. That's important. That's important. But yes, sexual purity is everything. Women who are still virgins, maintain your sexual purity and only surrender it to a man that's going to support you. Okay. And I'm going to touch on a little bit of that in a second. Only give it to a man that's going to support you. Okay. You, your children, make sure you have provision, protection, guidance, leadership. This is what you need to look for. That's important. But if you no longer have your sexual purity and you're looking for a husband, then you must be chaste. You must preserve yourself until that time comes. All right. Some people may slip up here and there, whatever the case may be. That's between you and the Most High. But whatever that act is, which is a particular term for it, whatever that act is, it's not fornication. Fornication is something totally different. And I'm trying to get you to understand this. But this is why I have to teach this very carefully, because people will say, oh, fornication and premarital sex. Yeah, I'm going to go in and I'm going to go hard. YOLO. No, that's not what we're promoting over here. All right. Okay. And Sister Liz, I didn't forget. I got you, sis. I got you. But let me transition. All right. All right. So now, Raphael, like, for example, sex before marriage would be an example of a man who runs game on a female who's a virgin and lays with her, and they're discovered. Then he has to take her to be his wife. But he first needs to get permission from her father because she was in her father's home. That's the culture, right? So that can be considered premarital sex because there was no formal ceremony, right? There was no formal consummation with the sheets being laid out and no exchange of gifts and things of value, no dowry or anything like that. However, if that happens, the man who lies with the virgin has to give a dowry to the father for compensation of taking a member of the workforce of the home out of the home prematurely. But if that woman who's a virgin if she is engaged or if she's married and she does not say this man has taken advantage of me, then they both will be put to death. That was a capital offense. But if they lie down with each other and she ain't connected to no man, you got to take her to be yours. That's it. She's your wife. You got to take her to be your wife. That's what the text says, right? In regards to that. All right. So the purpose of that is to be a deterrent. So that way, this type of immorality won't run rampant within the community. Okay. All right. Jordan's cadet or running game, you know what I'm saying? Or kicking game or shooting your shot, whatever you want to say. All right. All right. So let's transition. Let me get into the last thing I wanted to touch on tonight. And there's an excellent book. I'm going to show it to y'all on the screen. Matter of fact, you can get it on Amazon if you're interested in it. We're going to have it on the Patreon soon. We don't have it up on the Patreon yet. But you can get it from Amazon. But I want to show you this, this book real quick. Put it up on the screen. Excellent book, man. And I'm gonna show it to y'all real quick, and I'm gonna get into what I wanted to talk about. All right, there it is. Hopefully y'all can see it. All right, it's called Growing Up in Israel: Children in Material Culture and Biblical Text by Christine Henriksen Garraway. All right, now why is this important? Why am I bringing this up? Because we rarely have extensive insight of the ancient Near Eastern world from a child and adolescent's perspective. Okay, we rarely have it. Now we see some characters in the text that's considered boys or young men, and again, that word also. How do you know what age they are implying? You have to know the culture. You have to know weaning. Sometimes you think weaning just has to do with the child coming off the breast of the mother. No. Weaning happens when the child hits puberty, right? When the girl first has her menstrual, when the boy's voice starts changing and his muscular shape starts changing and he has a growth spurt in height and stuff like that. When that occurs and it's identified by the community, culture dictates there are rites of passage in order for you to transition into adulthood. All right. And you train with that as a boy until you leave your father's house, as a girl until you leave your father's house. Okay. So biology dictates how hormones affect the body and induces certain changes, and culture responds to that based on the cultural knowledge that's passed down of what occurs during that period of time. In that case, the female and the boy are ready to mate and produce offspring. But before they are allowed to do that, based on their biological changes, there has to be a rites of passage to see if they're mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and physically prepared to start a home and a family. You have to create the home first before you have a family. That's important. A lot of your creating families ain't got no home for them. Create the home first, and then you fill it with the family. All right. Okay. So let's get into this. Let's get into this. All right. And again, fam, if you're enjoying it, hit the thumbs up button. Hit the thumbs up button. If you're enjoying this, hit the thumbs up button. Hit the subscribe button if you're brand new. I know we lost like 20 people because I started talking about the truth. I'm sorry, but then I'm not sorry. It is what it is. All right. Share this video everywhere. Hit the thumbs up button if you're enjoying it. But again, I already know certain things I talk on is objective truth. People don't like it and they sign off. It's okay. It was already said to them. They got to deal with that. All right. So in this book, I want to bring up a particular page. I want to read a couple of things for you guys. Matter of fact, I want to show you the content, right? The book contents. And then I want to read a couple of things from this book and then transition from another book to kind of show you something. All right. Thank you, my brother Lamont. I'm trying. Karen Gittins, what causes that? Everything is cultural. All right. Everything is cultural. And it all has to do is of what you're exposed to prenatally and then postnatally, because children start to pick up their environment empirically even while they're in the womb. That's important. When you raise children, it starts with the moment you conceive. It doesn't start when the baby is out. Okay? Tony Israel Judah, sex is not marriage because there are other things that are required. Now, let me give you see, I'm trying to stay focused. Shout out to my brother Song of Jew in the building. I'm trying to stay focused. You'll keep getting me off course. But I would say the best example of what you're talking about is to go look up the story of Isaac. All right? Look up the story of Isaac and Rebekah. Okay? So remember, documentation for marriages didn't occur until the Israelites went into exile. The only time you had a documentation for marriage is when you're a king and you have a treaty, which also includes stipulations in regards to marriage, because sometimes one king at war with another king and they're coming to terms with coming to peace will give his daughter to this king, give his daughter to that king, and that will be written into the treaty. And that would be a marriage certificate, right? But in times past, the community was involved in the marriages of individuals. And it wasn't until the Israelites went into captivity that paperwork was necessary. Now it's called the ketubah. That's something that came out of Second Temple Judaism. All right. Prior to that, they didn't do that because certain things occurred. You needed witnesses in order for something to be validated. Certain exchanges had to occur, ceremony and all the other stuff. Right. But if you are part of a semi-nomadic tribe, there were arranged marriages that was done, that the father would send his servant. Again, just look up the story of Isaac and Rebekah. Send his servant to go and pick somebody for his son, a candidate. Once he finds a candidate that's suitable for his son, the master's son, he would go to the father of that woman and say, hey, we would like your daughter to get to know, my master's son. Are you okay with that? The father would say yes. And then the father would ask the daughter, do you consent to this? And she has the right to say yes or no. This wasn't no, come over here, woman, and knock over her head and throw over your shoulder. And no, it did not work that way. And then what happened was, then the servant gives something in exchange for the absence of that workforce member in the home to the father of that woman. And then she would be taken to meet the person that they're mentioning of. They would spend some time to kick it off, and then they would consummate. Now, that was the culture of the Bedouins or the semi-nomadic peoples during that time period. Now, once Israel exited out of Mizraim and settled in Canaan, things were a little bit different, right? However, a lot of the common folk cannot afford papyri. It was very expensive to get papyri. Vellum was another substitute, but sometimes they would use what's called ostraca, which is broken pottery shards. So pottery, and that's crazy. I just took my family to the pottery shop out here in Atlanta because we made pottery with our hands and baked it in the oven and painted it and all of that. You know what I'm saying? We have a spot out here called Kilt in Time and All Fired Up. These are pottery spots out here in Atlanta. Kilt in Time and All Fired Up. All right. We went to All Fired Up. All right. And you learn this. This gets us back in touch with our ancestral roots by doing pottery. Pottery is very significant in the ancient world. All right. But nonetheless, they would have to use these things to write things, to document things, because they couldn't afford the papyri or the vellum or other things like that. Okay. So you didn't really have a lot of marriage contracts written. The ones that did exist were people who were affluential, who had money, who had wealth, who were scribes or other things. Common folk did not have that, so the system of marriage for them was slightly different. Okay? So I just want to put that out there in case you understand that, because that's extremely important. All right? Who is oh, somebody's in here trolling. Oh, I didn't even see that. What's his name? Out the way Kaz. Okay. We got to troll everybody. There you go. I'm lying and spinning on my viewers, and I'm a liar. Oh man. Oh man. Oh, JD, that is problematic. Okay, that's problematic according to Torah, but there's a process that has to take place, and it does involve the elders of the community, but we don't have a lot of that in place, so you got to kind of use what's called halakha to kind of work those things out. All right. So look, check this out. Right, since I'm a liar, even though I showed you from the text, I'm a liar, right? So what we'll do, all right, so we can continue on with this show, because we have something valuable to share. The link is here in the chat. Out the way, Kaz. Click on the link. It's right there. See the link? It's right there. Okay. So if I'm a liar and I'm misleading, how can I be misleading you guys when I'm giving you all the sources and the tools and stuff to research behind the stuff that I'm saying? How can I lie? Does that make any sense? Why would I even give you all that if I wanted to lie to you? Who does that? Why would somebody lie to you but give you the truth to discover their lie? Does that make any sense? But the link is there. I'm gonna keep going. Mr. E says, don't feed the troll. Steph's telling him to keep it moving, but it's okay. The link is there. If you froggy, you can jump. The link is right there. All right. And then we can discuss your grievances that you have with me. No problem. And you have an opportunity to speak to this audience and let them know how I'm lying and deceiving everybody. Okay. I want to know. Shout out to Sister Honey Badger. She asked me for resources about the calendar. And what did I do, sis? I didn't tell you what to believe. I gave you the sources to read for yourself. She can attest to that. She's there. Okay, she's there. All right. Yes, LAA, you're absolutely correct. Oh, not that. I don't know what you're talking about, Tubman Day. I have no clue what you're talking about. But it's all good. All right. But yeah, mods, do not time him out. He can stay there. I'll let you know when to time him out. Okay. Don't ban him. Don't time him out. And if you're looking at this out of the ways, I didn't ban you, anything like that. My mods probably did because they got the trigger fingers. But you can still click the link. Click the link and you can air out your grievances. If you're not going to click the link, hey, this is the message to our trolls, okay? If you're going to come in here and troll and I see it and I have to take precious time away from what I'm sharing to address you, you will be given a link. You will be given 5 minutes to click that link and join the discussion so we can talk mano a mano. And if you refuse to do that and want to continuously troll in the chat, then the mods will ban you. Okay? Do not troll unless you're willing to have a discussion. That's how it works here. If you don't like it, don't watch the show. Why are you up at 1:28 a.m. in the morning coming on this show making those comments? It's early in the morning. What you doing? Oh, you're probably obsessed with this channel. That's probably what it is. You're probably looking for some attention and stuff like that. Well, I gave it to you, and I gave you the link, so let's go. Now, let's transition. All right. So it's very important to understand the psychology of a child. Now, I know you'll ask me some questions. I'm going to move away from that for now. Let me just finish what I'm saying now, okay? And then I'll go from there, okay? Jacko is funny. Cast them lots, man. Oh, man. Sir Vertaut, I don't have anything particularly on that, but I've done one-on-one sessions. So if you're interested in a one-on-one session, the number's there. Call us Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Set up an appointment for a one-on-one conversation, and we could talk about it, right? But I'll be doing more and more of these sessions in the future because I know a lot of y'all have an interest in this, okay? So that's just what it is. And again, on the Patreon, we'll have videos talking about this stuff as well. So please sign up for the Patreon, support our ministry so we can continue to put out this scholarship and be empowered by the things that we share on the Patreon. I'm a liar, but I gave y'all tools to go back and research the stuff that I'm saying. I'm a liar, but I gave you an online resource for free that anybody could look at. I'm a liar. Oh, look who shows up. Out the way, Kaz is here. Let me bring him on. Hold on. I didn't bring you on yet, brother. Hold on. You're going to get your turn. All right, there you go.
Ayo, so look, peep this, right? I don't know, I don't even know what y'all talking about. My man's put me on y'all. You know what I'm saying? Well, on you. You feel me? I don't even know what the conversation is, but you sitting here telling people about how people was thinking at a time that nobody living today could even, like, no matter what you do, bro, you could go to all the books you want, you could go to all the goddamn anything you want, bro. How can you sit here and tell people how people thought back in those times, bro? How can you say that? Like, what proof do you have? You sitting here telling people about books. You know what I'm saying? What proof do you have in these books, bro? Or is this all research and all the things that you thought to yourself? These are all the things that you, bro. What you laughing for? I'm not laughing.
Okay.
It's not funny, bro. Because
Yo,
you
yo,
spinning
yo.
people. It's like
Yo,
200 people
first
in
of
here
all,
right
wait.
now.
First of all, we're not coming with that energy. If you coming with
It's
that
no
energy, my brother,
energy.
no,
It's no
listen.
energy.
Listen to me, my brother. We're
Bro,
not coming with that
you're
energy.
a liar,
Let's keep
bro.
it
You're a
peaceful.
liar,
Let's
bro.
keep it peaceful. You can
You're a
say whatever you
liar.
want. We can keep it peaceful, but you're not
Uh-huh.
gonna come in with that energy. If you want people to hear what you have to say,
I
so
don't
you can
listen.
make your
I'm
point.
not trying to
My brother.
listen.
Listen to me, my brother. If you want to make your points so people can hear what you have to say,
I don't
there ain't
have
no
no
need for
points
you
to
to
make
turn up
though.
because I'm not turning up on you.
I'm not
I'm
turning up
listening
on
to
you
you.
either, brother. I'm
Listen,
not.
my brother. I'm listening to you. I'm letting you speak.
Mm-hmm.
I have the right to make any facial expressions that I want to. I'm not calling you no names. I'm not screaming over you. I'm not
You right.
disrespecting you. Do
You
not
right.
focus on that. We're gonna talk, and I'm gonna tell you why
We're
I'm
gonna
chuckling
talk.
like that.
I bet.
All
I
right.
like that.
So,
All right.
so you asked me a question, and you asking me how do I know what
Mm-hmm.
people in the past thought, said, or whatever? That's what you're saying to me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let me ask you a question, my brother. I don't know you from a hole in the wall, so I have
I
no
don't know
clue
you
what
either.
you. No, listen. I'm
Word.
saying that for a reason. I don't know what you're thinking, what you believe, what you subscribe to. I don't know any of that. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to ask you that for the sake of conversation, right? What is your particular disposition, my brother? What do you subscribe to? What do you believe in? What is your
Well,
angle?
okay. Well, see, I don't have an angle. I don't have a particular disposition. I don't have a belief. I don't believe in shit. You know what I'm saying? But one thing I do know is that I don't believe in people, like I don't believe in liars. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe in people telling people the way they think. I feel like everybody should you know what I'm saying, do their own, because like I feel like everybody got free will. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got free will. Everybody got a will to think the way they want. They gotta do whatever they want. So, you know what I'm saying? With you, I feel like you telling people how to think, you telling people to look in these books and shit like that. And my thing is all books, right? Every book ever written. I mean, I don't give a fuck if it's a good book, if it's a bad book, whatever. Every book ever written is something of the devil, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? I could be wrong, man. You know what I'm saying? You could be
You
right.
believe in the devil?
Do I believe in the devil?
Yeah, you
To
just
a
mentioned devil.
I don't. Okay, look, I don't believe in the devil as being like a dude in a fucking all red with a tail and a goddamn trident with horns on his head. No, I don't believe in that. No, I don't.
What's
But I
the devil
believe that
to
it
you?
is
You mentioned the devil. Who is this
a
character that you're
bloodline,
referencing?
a bloodline, a bloodline. I'm not saying the
What bloodline
character.
is
No, it's a
that?
bloodline.
Wait, what bloodline is that?
What bloodline is that? The people that control the world that we live in.
What bloodline is that? You're not telling me what bloodline that is.
I mean, obviously, I don't know the bloodline, but I'm talking. Okay,
Okay.
all right. Every president, every single president, they are related, regardless of what color they is, because it's a bloodline. It's not about what you look like. I'm talking about a bloodline of I call them the fallen. You know what I'm saying? That's what I call them. I don't call them no specific whatever, but I'm talking about a bloodline of people. You know what I'm saying? White, black, Asian, yellow, red, whatever the fucking color it is. I'm talking about a bloodline of people that control the world, and I'm talking about a power. It's a power. I'm not talking
Wait.
about money. It's not about
Where you?
money. It's not
Hold
about.
on, my brother. Where are you getting this information from?
I'm not get. See, you know what? The thing about that is, man, everybody keeps saying that. Everybody keep like, yo, where you get your information from? Everybody want me to point them towards a book or some shit like that. You feel me?
I'm
I
asking.
done been
I'm
on
asking you.
instances about.
Where did you get that information from? Because it existed before you was born. You got it from somewhere. It was shared with you. You read it somewhere. Somebody told you it was on a YouTube video. I'm asking you where you getting some information. Because if you're asking me, listen, check it out. You asking me how am I going to be able to interpret what was said in the past and share that with an audience today, right? From books and stuff like that. But you're
Yeah.
here saying all of this other stuff about some fallen. What's that? What's the fallen? What is this bloodline? Who started the bloodline? What family did it arrive from? What is the genotype of this bloodline. If I looked at it under a microscope, how can I parse out everything that we're looking for? Because hold on, because blood has antigens on them, my brother. You understand? If you want to get scientific. So listen, check it. When you say bloodline, you have to be able to verify what you're saying, because you're going to be just like the person that you're saying is lying. We can't verify nothing you're saying. You just making stuff up.
I mean, but we can't verify nothing you saying either, though.
Yes, we can, and I'm gonna show you how, my brother. Right?
Can nobody? Please show me. Please show me. I want you to. I want you to. Please show me.
Listen.
Please show
listen.
me.
I'm gonna be respectful of you,
my
brother.
Because you King.
Listen.
You don't gotta call me King. My name Kaz.
Listen. Kaz. All right. Whatever you want to be addressed. I'm gonna be respectful to you because I want you to see something, right? I'm not gonna come. See, my thing is this. I'm not calling you a lie. I
don't got no problem with you, man. I don't want you to think I don't got no problem with you. I don't even know.
It's not personal. It's not personal.
I don't got no problem with you. Like I say,
it's not personal.
My man's put me on you. You feel me? And I'm tuning in. The thing is,
no doubt.
I don't like liars,
and
man.
I'm okay with that.
And I don't like.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. So look, check it. You asked me a question. I'm gonna answer your question, right?
And listen,
but
hold on, wait, before you go, because I know my man's looking at this, right? I just want to say, I'm not saying you a liar. All I'm saying is I don't see how you could be telling your viewers what somebody thought all the way back in the days. Nobody that's alive right now could vouch for any of that. But if you feel like you can convince me, you know what I'm saying, and steer me in another direction, then I'm cool with that. I'm listening. I'm all ears.
Yeah. Listen, my brother. I'm okay with that. I don't mind criticism. It happens all the time. I'm built for this, right? So I'm okay with that. What I simply am trying to do is trying to show you that, listen, my brother. What I'm simply trying to do is trying to show you that the things that you're accusing me of, I can accuse you of the same thing. Because all this information that you just shared in that short period of time about the devil falling, about a bloodline, I can say, where you getting this from? How do we know what you're saying is true? How do we know you not just woke up one day and just made it up out of thin air? How can we verify what you're saying? You understand what I'm saying? So I'm gonna tell you how I verify what I'm saying, right? So I don't know. Again, you said you don't believe in anything. That's what you said, right? So you don't subscribe to the fact that ancient artifacts exist. Do you subscribe to that?
Nah, I don't believe in ancient artifacts. I believe all that shit was put here by the people that run this world.
So the pyramids was put here by the people that run this world too?
Facts.
And where are you getting this from? I'm just saying, where are you getting this from?
I'm just using what the creator gave everybody. Brain.
Oh, so you do believe in a creator?
I'm using my brain. I'm not using no books. I don't believe books.
You don't read books,
of course
okay?
Of course I do.
Okay, so you believe in a creator, a devil,
I believe that
and
the creator, the only thing the creator did, the only thing. No. Listen to me. I believe a creator, right? And the only thing the creator made before because the creator, the God or whatever the fuck everybody want to say, he's not here right now. He's not all seeing. He don't know what the fuck going on right now. You know what I'm saying? He made the earth, the natural resources of the earth, and he made people. You know what I'm saying? And he left. He's here no more. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe that. Does he have
a name?
Everything that's going on. And if somebody believe that, I feel like they living in a fantasy world.
Okay, I got you.
No, I don't.
But what you say?
Don't have a name. Don't nobody know his name.
So wait, chill. Okay, so look. Let's do this, my brother. I'm gonna give you some time to talk, and then I'm gonna talk and go back and forth, right? So that way we don't have to cut each other off, right? And I can hear what you have to say. So I'm gonna let you go for 2 minutes, say what you got to say, and then I'm gonna respond to that. And then we're going to build like that. All right. That way we don't have to talk over each other. All right. So go ahead. I'm going to mute my mic and give you an opportunity to talk.
I mean, boy, I don't really have nothing because, like, at the end of the day, I ain't nobody. I'm a regular dude from the hood. I don't got resources. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I don't feel like people, you know what I'm saying, that's getting into these books that's been around since the beginning of the time.
Yeah, your mic is breaking up, King. Oh, my bad. Kaz, your mic is breaking. If you can hear me, your mic is breaking up. So you may want to relocate wherever you at and come back. But your mic is breaking up. All right. So what I'm gonna do, Kaz, I'm gonna drop you. Try to get somewhere where we have better signal. Maybe get on Wi-Fi, something like that, and then rejoin the session. All right. I'm put the link back in the chat for you. All right. Let me put the link back in the chat. All right. All right. All right. Here we go. All right. So I'm gonna get the link is back in the chat, Kaz, if you can hear this, because I want to address what you're asking me. Okay. So that way, because again, the difference here than all these other platforms is I'm willing to have these type of dialogues with anybody. Okay. I'm not running. I'm not turning. I'm not cowering. I'm not saying, oh, I'm not going to address that person. If you have a grievance with anything that I'm saying, I'll allow you to peer review me on the spot by giving you a link. Right. And that's exactly what we're doing. And we're building. I don't see you as my enemy. I see you as a brother. Now, we may have some differences in opinion, but we can work that out. But I'm willing to hear you out, my brother. I don't care if you consider yourself common, if you was a celebrity, it don't matter. I treat everybody the same. All right. So I want to give you a voice, let you speak your piece, and then let's see if we can build. All right. So I see you back, Kaz. I'm gonna put you back on. All right. There you go. Go ahead. I'm gonna mute. Go ahead. You got
Yo, my fault. My old phone had died. I got my charger though, but like I was saying, I don't have any like I don't have no angle or nothing like that. Like I said, yo, my friend, you know what I'm saying, a good friend of mine, he put me on you, you know what I'm saying? I watched a couple of your videos, you know what I'm saying? I told him, I said, you going live tonight? I asked him if he was going to be in attendance. He like, yeah. I said, all right, bet I'm coming in there, you know what I'm saying? And like off the rip, you kind of rubbed me the wrong way, you know what I'm saying? Not to come at you, you know what I'm saying, your studies and all that, but you kind of rubbed me the wrong way because it's like, yo, how could you sit here and tell people what somebody thought way back in the day? But, you know, obviously I probably ain't do the studies you did or whatever like that, right? But my take on this whole thing of what's going on right now, my whole take is as far as books go, I feel like books are works of the devil, all books too. Like I don't just think one book or, you know what I'm saying, ain't one book greater than the other. Another thing that I don't subscribe to or don't believe in, I don't believe that one people is better than the next people. You know what I'm saying? I believe that all people are the same, regardless of where you from, how you grew up. I lived in Germany for 4 years. You know what I'm saying? And I don't care what color you was. Everybody I met, they all spoke English. You know what I'm saying? But they all spoke German as well. You know what I mean? I do believe that some people subscribe to the media that they get from their TVs and their phones and shit like that. And so they automatically assume that that relates to their life. You know what I mean? I don't feel that way though, because I've met black people that I like. I've met white people that I like. I've met Mexican people that I like. I've met Asian people that I've liked. I've met Asian people I don't like. I've met Mexican people I don't like. I've met black people I don't like, and vice versa, white people, whatever like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe that people are divided. You know what I mean? I believe that religion is something that divides people. Now, I don't know if y'all on this platform, if y'all believe in like a religion or if y'all religious or whatever like that, but you know what I'm saying? If it is a religion, I feel like people need to get out of that, because at the end of the day, you know, especially me being in America, we don't have no access to no real history. You know what I'm saying? We only got access to the history that they tell us we got access to, no matter what you looking up. You know what I'm saying? Them pyramid shits, at the end of the day, them pyramids ain't nothing but burial sites. That's all they is. It's people buried underneath them shits. You know what I'm saying? That's all it to me. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing great. It's nothing, no, because at the end of the day, like, it's 2021. Somebody would have figured it out by now. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe in aliens. I don't believe we living on a goddamn spinning ball floating through space. I don't believe in that. And I don't care what the book say. I don't care what that book say. That book is cool. You know what I'm saying? It's a good book. It got a lot of good stories in it, but I feel like people wrote that shit. You know what I'm saying? And so for you to be sitting here telling people what this language mean and what this mean and all that, I'm not saying I'm not discrediting your studies and all that, and your information. You know what I'm saying? I might watch you and learn something from you. You know what I'm saying? But for me right now, it just seemed kind of crazy. It's just like somebody telling me a dinosaur existed because they got a goddamn skeleton they found somewhere buried in the fucking desert somewhere that can't nobody I know or nobody they know could get to that shit. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that right there is it's a spin. We just spinning people instead of telling people the truth. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to the truth.
Okay, go ahead. Tell me, do this. I gave you a few minutes, but end it off by telling me, what do you subscribe to be the truth? And then I'm gonna jump in from there. All right, so go ahead.
The truth to me is something that don't need to be broke down and explained. I feel like the truth is something that a kid could understand. A child could understand the truth. I ain't mean to say kid, but a child can understand the truth when it comes to the truth. It is nothing that got to be broken down. It ain't nothing that got to be studied on. The truth is just the truth. It's clear, cut, and dry. It don't got to be explained. You don't got to go looking for it. That's just.
So wait. So my brother. So what is that truth?
The truth is that I feel like we've been lied to. We've been lied to since whoever, you know what I'm saying? Since our mothers, our fathers, our ancestors, if people want to say that, you know what I'm saying? Grandparents, somebody along the line bought the lie of what this reality is right now, and this is why we in the situation we in. When I look at, like, I lived in the hood most of my life, you know what I'm saying? And people is not murdering people over religion. They're not killing people because they Jewish or because they Muslim or because they Christian or because they subscribe to a book. They killing people over money. You know what I'm saying? That's why motherfuckers is getting killed in the hood. Everybody getting killed in the hood over a money situation or because they can't control their emotions and shit like that. They're not killing each other because they like, oh, nah, Jesus existed. Oh, nah, Jesus ain't exist. That's not why people killing each other. You know what I'm saying? So our problem is not a book or not being able to understand the religion, because at the end of the day, somebody can read a book, but they always got, like, at the end of the day, people gonna do like I say, it's free will. Everybody got free will. You know what I'm saying? I don't think God and the creator or whatever, that motherfucker, he not here no more. You know what I'm saying? When he made the earth's natural resources, and he made people. Right now, people are more concerned with money than the actual earth and the actual people that's on the earth. They only care about money and getting it for them and their family and woo, 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 woo. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, cool. So I'm gonna stop you right there. Okay, I got you, and I just want to address some of the things you said so I can answer it. You feel what I'm saying? The first thing that I'm gonna ask you to do is, can you refrain from cursing? Only because
I can do that. That's my fault. I was.
No, you good. You good. What I'm saying is,
that's my bad.
No, the reason why I'm saying that is because some people. No, I feel you. That's why I let you go. I didn't cut you off. I let you go. It's just that some people in the audience have their children watching. So we just want to kind of,
I apologize to all.
You good?
That's my word. I apologize.
You good, King. All right. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, before I address some of the things that you said, because what I'm trying to do, honestly, is kind of hear what you're saying. Now, I also lived what we would call the hood, right?
Yeah.
That's where I came from Bronx, New York, near Cozy Corners and Soundview. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I could tell you from New York. I could tell by your energy and the words you use, you from New York. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's why I kept you on, because some people may not understand. That's how we talk in New York. Like, we just strong and aggressive like that. You feel me? So I understand what you mean as far as brothers in the hood, how they killing themselves and over money. Money is not the only thing. It's one of the major things why they killing each other, over respect, over territory. I know, because some dudes that I was hanging with when I was doing whatever I did in the past, I'm not going to incriminate myself on here. We had shootouts and we had drug deals. We did all that stuff. You feel me? Like, I came up doing a lot of that stuff. You know what I mean? So I saw things. But the interesting thing is, I had OGs that was over me because I never joined the gang. Because I felt like that was the suckers if you join a gang. Like, why I'm going to do this? You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to be a man. Like, I'm going to create my own thing. I ain't going to follow what you got. But I had OGs that would tell me, like, yo, you know what I'm saying? At that time, my name was Dro. They're like, yo, Dro, listen, man, all this stuff that we doing, like, this stuff is a cycle. You feel what I'm saying? Like, young dudes like you don't need to get caught up in the cycle, because they would get their young boys to go do work for them. But when they see me, they treated me different. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't like that, but I didn't appreciate that until I got older. And they saw something in me that can change the condition that they were in, that their children were susceptible to, that their grandchildren were susceptible to. You feel what I'm saying? So the objective of them speaking wisdom to me at that time, when I was doing my dirt, was not because they was hating on me, because I was very charismatic, and you know what I'm saying, when I would get money, I would shine and do all that stuff. Like I was doing what I did. But the key thing was none of that fixed the problem. Like, why are we killing each other? Why are we in the hood? Why is it called the ghetto? How's drugs coming in here when I don't see no black billionaires that's responsible for any of these cartels or anything like that? How is also being tracked in the community? We have to figure out how that happened. How do we get put in that situation that we at each other's throats? Why is that happening? So simply what we start off with is something very simple, with asking questions from our immediate environment that's jacked up and saying, yo, why is it like this? And how can we change it? Because I got kids. You got children?
Yes, I do.
So what am I doing to change the environment that my kids are growing up in? I'm responsible for that. Nobody else. I'm responsible for that. So I have to ask questions about the current condition that I was in and say, how can I not let this be repeated by my children? So my journey started off simply by asking, why is this happening? Before I got to the point where I'm in now. So the stuff that I'm kicking right now to this audience is people that's on this vibe. We've already been rocking, doing this for some time. Like somebody new to it may not understand it and may say, yo, coming in the middle of it and say, yo, I don't understand this. I'm okay with that. I'm with it. Like, let's talk, let's build. So what I'm going to say is this, right? There's something called a presupposition. A presupposition very simply means things that we automatically believe to be true. Mm-hmm. Whether it's through experience, like you said, you went overseas to Germany. Was you in the military?
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. So salute to you, my brother, for everything you put behind this nation.
The dumbest decision.
No, hold on. Wait. No, well, you may think that way. However, you just spit some truth to us. You said, Joe, when I was overseas in Germany, I experienced A, B, and C that is now forming and shaping how you think today, my brother. Mm-hmm. Your eyes was opening. You was exposed to stuff that in the hood you wouldn't be exposed to. So now that has brought in your perception of reality. Now you know to ask the right questions. Now you can see through BS when people kick it. So even though it may have been dumb because you felt like, well, the devil sent me over there to kill people or whatever, you learned something. You feel me? So for some reason, I don't know why it was meant to be for you to learn that, come on here and share that with us, but that is some profound insight. So you can't throw everything away, the baby with the bathwater, just simply because things were not as favorable as we have liked them to be. You know what I mean? And for the record, we work with the VA as well, right? Because a lot of brothers that come home from the military, VA don't give a F about you. You feel me? So we try to help those brothers clean up their credit, get a trade, get housing and all of that. You know what I mean? So I don't know if you need any of those services, but if you do, outside of just this type of discussion, holla at me.
I'm good, money.
You good? All right, cool. So look, I'm also going to be in New York in August. So when I touch down,
hey, I'm gonna come see you.
Let's check in and let's build.
I'm about to call as soon as I get off the phone with you. I'm gonna call my man. I know he watching, but we gonna come see you because I want to talk to you. Man.
Yeah, definitely. So let me transition from that. So I just wanted to lay down that foundation so you can kind of see that I didn't just come out the blue with this stuff. You feel me? It took a process. So understanding that certain things have to be laid down, right? Now you went to grade school, right? Just like I went to grade school, right? How'd you learn English?
Shit, the teachers in there. Well, no. You know what? I ain't even gonna say that. Obviously, from my parents, my mom and my dad first and foremost. Seeing them talk, and obviously, I developed. I think the baby's first words be like no and yes and all that. You know what I'm saying? So,
but your parents learned from somebody. Who taught your parents?
I would say they parents and
school. School also was involved because.
So
let me ask you: do you subscribe to the fact that do you believe that we are indigenous to this part of the world, or do you believe we came from?
I believe this is what I believe, right? I believe wherever you go in the world, no matter where you go, wherever you see black people at, that's where they from.
So you subscribe that your family is from this part of the world natively? My
family, well, I'm gonna say my dad's side of the family. I don't really know where they from. I'll probably say North Carolina, right?
Yeah.
But my mom's side of the family, they definitely from Georgia. That's a fact.
From your mom's side, right?
My mom's side. I'm talking about like my great grandmother. She's from Georgia, but before her, the only story we got is that they came here from Barbados. So that's all I know. I don't know anything else after that.
No. So that's good. So that's a starting point, right? So they came from Barbados. So do you believe that that's where they're natively from? Do you believe that our people are natively from Barbados, or at least your family are
Yeah,
natively from
I ain't
Barbados?
I ain't gonna say everybody, but as far as my family, as far as I could trace back, the farthest we could go is Barbados. Now, exactly where at, we don't know where at, but
No,
that's
that's
just the
fine.
story we got.
So I'm just saying. So that island, because you know Barbados is a small island.
Yeah,
So
very
that
small.
island is where your family came from. Okay, cool. My subscription is that we were brought over here, right?
Okay.
Now you're gonna ask me, how do I know? Now you said something that was very interesting about books and stuff. Do you realize that oral tradition still exists
Oh yeah, for sure. I know
about
they
stuff
do.
that's not written in books,
For
but that's
sure.
orally
Yeah.
from one generation? Okay, so if you subscribe to that, do you know that we have oral tradition that go back hundreds of years? And you know how we know it goes back hundreds of years? Because there are elements of that oral tradition that is not in the region of Barbados. Now, I don't know if you've ever interviewed your great grandparents or whoever was from Barbados.
I didn't get a chance to. They died. They
No, no,
dead,
no, no.
man.
I feel you. I
Get the
feel you.
chance to.
No, I feel you. But what I'm saying is, if you did speak to them and had a conversation with them about customs, right? Mannerisms, right? Idioms, certain phrases they would say, listen to it, because what you'll discover is that certain things in their tradition is not in their immediate environment. If that occurs, then they're not natively from that area, that they came from somewhere else. Because this is not stuff that the devil is writing in a book and giving to them. This is stuff that they say that they try to hide from who we call the devil, so they can pass it on to other generations so they know what's up. You feel me? So it's like when you get older, you're going to be a great grandfather at some point, right? You're going to kick the same game down to your great grandchildren so they can think critically and independently, and they're not controlled by some construct that's being fed by the opposition, or we call it ops, whatever you want to call them. You feel me? So what I'm saying is, if you go to examine that tradition, that oral tradition, you'll see that there's elements in that oral tradition that has nothing to do with Barbados, because certain items in the language they use are not even native to that area. So that is called what scholars, and I say scholars because this is them examining us, trying to understand us, they call that colloquialisms or Africanisms, meaning that if you go to a place in Africa with a particular tribe, I'm just gonna make it up theoretically, but because we have those records, but I'm just gonna talk to you, right? And go to that tribe in the west coast of Africa, and we ask them, what are your oral traditions? And they tell us what their oral traditions are. Again, this stuff is not written down. They only speak it, they don't write it. And we listen and we discern it. We say, oh, you know what? Like, there's elements in what you're saying that's comparing to what they saying over here. How, when that's thousands of miles apart? Because at some point, somebody stemmed from somewhere going to the other place. But how do you know who went which direction? Listen to the oral tradition to see how many elements are native to their environment. Like, I give you an example. Let's say rice paddies, right? Or cultivation of rice. Is rice a native item in Barbados? No. So if it's not, but yet they're using jargon or language that talks about rice and even the foods, because oral tradition is passed down in foods too, culinary, how they make foods. Like my grandmother, she was from the Virgin Islands. You feel me? And there were certain foods that she would make there that we don't have here in America, because she learned it from her great grandparents and they taught her that. But the way they prepare it is not how they prepare it here. But if you go to other places in the world, they prepare it the same way based on how she does that, because she's being taught through a stream of oral tradition. Because if we go to our bloodlines, in order to be pure, then we have to reclaim whatever that oral tradition is from our bloodline, because that's the only thing that we have that's untainted for us to construct a worldview on how to identify what's real and what's fake. Because our ancestors were committed to our survival. That's why we're here. Despite all the BS they went through, all of the tribulation and trials and persecution, we here. We are their dreams manifest, my brother. You feel me? So that means whatever they passed down to us, or were trying to pass that out, or maybe they couldn't because of whatever things that were going on, we have an obligation to reconstruct what that is and restore it so we can fix problems in our community and make a better world for our children, because we fathers. You feel me? So I'm just saying that to you. My perspective comes from a real point of view before we build up into talking about books and all of that. because I'm just trying to simplify things so you can we can get on the same page, and then I can work you up from there so you can see how I'm coming to, these conclusions. You feel what I'm saying?
I definitely feel you. Like I say, I'm gonna definitely tune in. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry for well, I apologize for coming in.
Nah, you from New York, man. You supposed to keep that energy.
Everybody though, like anybody
Bro.
tell me about something, man. I'm coming straight forward because I feel like at this point in time, the way the world going, we don't need people spinning everybody. You know what I'm saying? We don't need people lying and for monetary gain and trying to have people brain dead out here. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't really with that. At one point in my life, I was really on the brain dead shit. Well, the brain dead stuff. My fault for cursing, but I'm not really on that no more. You know what I mean? So it's kind of hard for me to like I don't even watch TV. I can't watch TV because I know it's all fake. I can't listen to certain music because I know what they about. You know what I mean? So I ain't really the one for like the games and all that. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't trying to press you. I know the moderators was in the comments going crazy or whatever. But I'm gonna be honest. I told my mans I was gonna do this today. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and you kept your word.
And like the funny thing is, right, when I called him, he was like, bro, I know you ain't in the comments going crazy. I said, nah. He said, yo, click the link. You ain't click the link? I said, nah, I ain't clicking no link. He said, yo, click the link. So I ain't know what the link was. I thought the link was like a link to like some studies or something. I ain't know it was you. So I was surprised when I seen it was you, and I was like, all right, but like I respect it, man. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate that, my brother.
You know what I'm saying? Like keep doing what you do, man. I appreciate it. You know,
just so you know, Kaz, I'm gonna let you know, Kaz. So the way I build is based on who I'm talking to. You feel me? Like if me and you were talking some real stuff, I don't have to bring no books in. I ain't got to, yo, bro, we can talk.
And like I said, man, like, I ain't nobody, man. Like I ain't no
God now. Bro, if you nobody, stick around me long enough and we're gonna be somebody's together. You feel me? We got work to do.
Hey, look. I've been subscribed to your channel. I've been subscribed to your channel for about 2 weeks now. I've been watching all your stuff.
I appreciate that, my brother.
You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate that. Let me clear the air, my brother. I just want y'all to know this is how we talk in New York, right? this is no, brother. You got to understand, because even going to Germany, you had a swag that they didn't understand because of cultural differences. You feel me? Like in New York, this is how we talk. You know what I'm saying? So, and again, people might think, oh, these brothers about to kill each other, but then they see us talking like this and like, nah, that's just how they talk. Like that's how we move.
Wrong with building.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's all good. But look, my brother, much love to you, my brother. Stay on your journey. I'm not here to take you off your journey. Even if your purpose is to have these type of dialogues to get brothers to think, keep doing it. I commend you for that. You feel what I'm saying? Because a lot of these brothers in my community and what's called the conscious community, they would never want to talk to a brother like you. They'd be like, nah, I ain't gonna talk to him, because they don't want to be cross-examined. They don't want to be questioned. They don't want to be told you wrong. Look at this perspective. They got their head so big, they're not trying to have a simple build with brothers in the hood or the street. You know what I mean? Or brothers who's coming out of that and trying to make something for themselves as fathers, as men. But I'm not like that. I'm cut different. You know what I mean? Maybe because I'm from New York. I don't know. I'm just saying, we cut different. You feel me?
That's what it is.
So, all right. So, Kaz, look, when I get to New York, man, when I touch down, I'm going to check in. You see my email address right there or my number?
I see you. Hey, I'm telling you, hey, look,
text me, yo.
We're going to pull up, man, for real. I'm trying to rub elbows with you, man.
That's what's up, man.
I mean,
so look, shoot me a text so I have your math. I'm going to lock you in. So when I touch down, I'm going to give you a call and let you know. You're going to be one of the first people I text while I'm at the airport. I'm like, yo, my feet to the ground. What's up? You know what I mean?
I bet. That's love. All
right, man. All right, kids. Nice talking to you, man. I'll stay in touch, all right?
Peace.
All right, peace. All right. Okay, cool. So, family, look, I want to say this as a disclaimer before I'm going to let my brother Jordan's Cadet say a couple of words. I'm giving him a few minutes, and then it's kind of late now. I don't know if y'all want me to keep going, but hit one. But the thing about Freestyle Friday is that it's freestyle. Like anything can happen. It's not like a show where I have a strict itinerary and I got to follow it. Anything can happen. Y'all asked me questions. I wasn't even prepared, to even discuss today. But, I have to be ready for this at all times because it keeps me humble. Right. So I just want you to understand. I'm sorry I didn't get to what I want to talk about today. I can always continue it in the future. Unless you want me to keep going, hit one if you want me to keep going. If you hit one, I'll keep going. You know what I'm saying? And I'll go until about 3 hours. All right. I'll keep going. Otherwise, I can, you'll say keep going. All right, cool. All right. So look, I just want to share something to y'all real quick. If you're interested in any KHM stuff, like we got pens and all that type of stuff, let me know. We'll send it to you for free. All right. So look, check it. Brothers like Kaz, I like them. You know why? Because they're the brothers that's going to check these dudes whose heads is in the clouds. You feel me? Like, have to shout and tell people you a lie, you a deceiver, so they can actually consider, man, am I really lying, deceiving people? And is this brother really about to expose me? And then avoid, block, delete. What I do is we don't run from nothing here. Like I said, maybe I'm cut different. I don't know. We don't run from nothing because at the end of the day, I could tell that brother was genuine, but he just had a gripe. And it wasn't just with me. It was stuff he experienced before he even checked me. He said it's only been 2 weeks. So he looked at mine. This is an accumulation of stuff that this brother had over time. So I didn't take it personal. I just didn't want him to come with the wrong energy to think we just gonna take it. Like that don't work that way. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not the type of person I am. So I have to set it off from the rip. Like, yo, I'm gonna respect you, respect me, and let's talk. You feel me? We can be passionate, but let's I just want to set the groundwork. Like, you're not gonna take over the show. Like, we gotta talk. And then in person, I always tell people where I'm at all the time. I have no fear. None. If anything happens to me, it's because the Most High says it's your time. When you try to live as righteously as possible, why should you worry about looking over your shoulder? I strive to do right by everybody, the common person, and even somebody who's a celebrity. Because I know tons of celebrities, but they're regular people to me. That doesn't mean anything to me. I have no respect of person. At the end of the day, that brother genuinely was trying to understand what we doing over here. And if we take those type of brothers and just block them, ignore them, call them names, then we can never lead them to what we're trying to accomplish. If we're trying to reach the lost sheep, well, who we call the lost sheep, it all's based on your tact and decorum and how you handle yourself. I knew he can take me checking him because, again, I could tell by his mannerisms, how he's talking. I know he's from New York. I don't know what part of New York, right? But if you gave me some time, me and him were just talking. After some time, like, you from Brooklyn, right? You from Brooklyn? Where you from? Red Hook, Canarsie? Where you from? Bed-Stuy? Nah. You from Brownsville? I know where you from because I'm from New York, so I travel these places. I did, but I had to let him know, like, at a base level, bro. Like, forget the book stuff. Let's just talk like real stuff. And what I say is dependent on the audience. So y'all just got glimmer of this, and y'all seen it sometimes in the past. But brothers like that, I appreciate. I hope he has that same energy with all these other so-called leaders in the community to see if they're truly about the liberation of our people, unity, building. He says, I ain't nobody. I said, look, if you feel you are nobody, then we need to make you a somebody so you can help the nobodies out there, right? You need to be a somebody. The fact that you're thinking like that you've been in the military, you have experience overseas, that you're a father, you somebody. And with whatever little bit of knowledge you have and you kicking, I believe it needs to be refined a bit, but, you know, he's just being raw and passionate, that you have something that you can offer our people. And that brother has a lot to offer our community. He just needs somebody that's going to talk and build with him on a real level. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I didn't give him no sources. I didn't quote nothing from the Bible or anything else. I just talked to him. And sometimes some of us, we don't know how to talk to people. Like, we throw verses at them, and we throw books at them, and he's not even focused on that. He just wanted, like, yo, something's going on. There's some kind of conspiracy against us. They're lying to us. So he wants to know, like, why are you telling people this stuff? And I'm telling him it's based on the audience. Like, these are my peoples. Like, we've been rocking for some time. A lot of these are my day ones, but you just came in the middle of this. So you don't know, like, the level we had to build up before we got to this point. But look, I could push that aside and let's just talk. You feel me? And, like, get you to consider something, because he's not no dummy. That brother's smart. You feel what I'm saying? But again, he's a little unrefined, a little rough around the edges, and that's okay, right? That stuff takes time. You know what I mean? And he has to be around somebody that's going to accept him how he is and work with him. You know what I mean? Like, all right, that's how you is, cool. Like I can handle the cursing and all of that. That don't mean nothing to me. You know what I'm saying? But for the audience, for y'all viewing, sometimes y'all have kids or other people who, you know, that's not tolerable. But on the show, we try not to have swearing. But if I would have jumped at him initially for cursing, we would have never got to that point. So sometimes you got to work through those things to really get to where people are at. You know what I'm saying? And not for them to feel like you're reprimanding them, like you might try to be my dad or trying to be a teacher to me. You just want to know you're going to be a brother and talk to me. You feel me? Like I just don't like that. And I want to share it with you. You know what I mean? So I try to let these things be a teaching moment for all of us in our community, that you're going to have these type of brothers. Don't run away from them. Don't shy away from them, right? Whatever got you to this point in life, you have enough experience and wisdom to pour into somebody else. I mean, everybody can't do what I do. I can't do what a lot of y'all can do. That's why we have to work together. You know what I mean? That's why I always give an opportunity, because I know at the end of the day, a lot of times, a lot of these brothers and sisters that come on here and troll, they have a genuine concern. And unless I'm talking to them, there's no way that we can work it out, right? Because that's how we gain a brother. That's how we gain a sister. We have to open up dialogue and communication and not shy away from it. You understand what I'm saying? All right. So I'm sorry. So y'all say keep going. So Jordan's Cadet, I'm gonna give you 2 minutes, and then I gotta continue on with the show. But I'm gonna give you 2 minutes, and I don't know what are you talking about, Tubman Day? I don't know what you're talking about in the chat. I don't know what's going on. I have no clue what's going on. I have no clue. All right. So I'm gonna let you go ahead, Jordan. You got the floor. I'm gonna mute myself. I'm gonna give you 2 minutes. I can't
What's
hear
up,
you.
man?
Oh, there you go. All right, go ahead.
Damn, you only get for 2 minutes. But yo, check this out. I want to apologize because I said to block the brother. You have demonstrated once again that you got more virtue than all of us, and we all are terrible people, especially me. And I know that's something I got to work on, because I'm trying to. And I apologize to the brother if you're still watching, because you did come off in that just, in that way. But it turned out to be great, a good lesson for all of us. Since the beginning of the show until now, just wrote my notes. First thing was the captivity, because our people think that captivity is chain around your neck, you in a cage. Captivity, if you're not the ruling nation, all the nations that are not ruling are captives, because they have to listen to the ruling nation. The ruling nation, like we read in Revelation, is the nation that says, "Who can make war with us?" That's the nation that nobody else can fight, so they got to listen to that guy.
Facts.
Next point is, I try to emphasize this every time. In order to establish large groups, organizations, we need power. Because just like the brother demonstrated, no offense, but the other classes of people out there, the way they see the world, the way they experience things, and with not as much nuance as us, a lot of times, like, they deny nuance. They frequently use phrases like common sense, and we see every day that sensibility is not common, and that a lot of times they feel like reasoning is a sacrifice of stability ideals instead of like knowledge expansion. They have an overwhelming fear. A lot of our people have an overwhelming fear of being deceived and confused, which leads to catastrophic thinking, which leads to great untrust of people, lonerism, where people think being not a part of a group is the best thing, which is actually the worst thing. But I can see how we get like that, because there is a lot of deceit and there's a lot of taking advantage of stuff. The next point is when you were talking about the fornication and the Corinthians, and how people have to understand that culture, I think the best way to put this, culture is a library of solutions. It's difficult for people to think outside the framework of their culture when they only know one, because that's what I was going through when I was learning another language.
Facts.
It felt hard because you got to think so hard about every single word you run into, and what's that, and what are they trying to say, and how they put it all together and package it into one thing. It really is hard to learn your first different language, but the rest will come easy, and you'll be more flexible when you think about stuff. The fourth thing is people have, and this is connected to the third thing, language and codes meeting. In codes meeting, non-Hebrew and Greek translations create antagonist opportunities. In other words, when somebody else is telling your story through their perspective, right, they're able to get away with things that they regularly would not get away with.
Facts.
So this is what creates these issues, where there are a lot of great truths expressed in the New Testament that are not new, but more simply expressed in the New Testament as opposed to the Old, where the Old is more unpacking and implying and all that. But with the New, it's more simply expressed. And that's the advantage that, they have. And then the fifth one, I want to kind of finish this off with why is it so hard for people to get technical with the Bible? It's because through research, we have to end up giving up the ideals that we're comfortable with now. And I go through that all the time, because listening to your show, listen to other stuff, we are comfortable with a lot of things that we think, and we're completely wrong.
Correct.
And in strong denial of it, because then denial is almost warranted, because it's like a denial in exchange for the comfort that comes from the crap that we hold dear.
Correct.
So no pain, no gain. It's not just gym, it's also your faith and the learning. And it's like a constant process of sobering it up when you learning, you know. So appreciate you, brother, man.
Awesome.
You know,
You did all of that in a great amount of time, my brother. I love building with this brother. He always brings some unique insight that's on the same wavelength as me. You know what I'm saying?
I know you're gonna give me short time, so I'll make sure I keep my notepad up and I write it down as I go. No, not just. I do want to be concise though. I just want to. If everyone is still watching from the beginning up until now, I just try to like recap.
Correct.
Give my thoughts, because I speak for me, but I feel like sometimes I speak for you, where we trying to make it easier than it really is. You just got to put a little bit more effort into the study, because if you don't, like, our people have no idea how much your laziness is going to be a gigantic snare to you.
Correct.
Because if you don't put a little bit of effort to get more technical with this, you're going to be trying to understand this through someone else that's not trying to have you understand it.
Correct.
And it's just,
correct.
You lose.
That's why, you know, I try my best to empower people with sources, tools, and methods, so that way they can be untethered from that and really be able to run. Because, you know, you can give somebody a long leash, as long as they have enough room to roam around the cage, they feel like they have some form of freedom, right? But it's not until that cage opens and the leash is broken that they truly can understand what freedom and liberty is. And untethering away from the dogmas and the perspectives of those who came before us, who are actually shaping the worldview we have today, to think independent of that and be consistent in being critical about the right things and putting things through a vetting process to be able to understand or put ourselves in the shoes of where we're trying to go. If we're not willing to, like you said, stop being lazy and commit to that, then we're going to continue going through this walk in circles, you know what I'm saying, and never get anything accomplished. So you're absolutely correct, and I appreciate that. So thank you for your time, Jordan Cadet. You're always insightful. As always, my brother. Keep up the good work. I keep you in prayer all the time, because you're on the road and anything can happen being a trucker. You know what I'm saying? And we appreciate that, because you're on the front line still, you know, in the midst of a pandemic. You know what I'm saying? And you're still here. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate that. Keep learning, keep growing, keep sharing with us. I love when you speak, because I learn as well. And we're going to get there together, man, soon. All right. Hopefully I get to see you sometime soon, my brother, and we get to build in person.
All right.
All right, King. Shalom.
Yes, shalom.
All right. So I don't know who the solving the race problem is. Not sure. I don't know how'd you get this link? I don't know. But since they want me to finish the show and I got a little bit of time, y'all know what I'm going to do. Let's grab the link and solving the race problem. Here you go. There you go. There's it is, right? Giovanni Roche. I don't know who you are, because I spoke to Giovanni early today. I don't know if that's the same person. Franco Hazley said Christianity is man-made, has nothing to do with following the creator. Man. I'm just saying, I had a show, but then I realized it's Freestyle Friday, so it's whatever. So the link is there. Solving the race problem. The link is there. Okay. It's right there for you. And who was the other person that was saying stuff? Giovanni. I don't know if you're the same Giovanni brother that was speaking earlier today. I don't know if that's you or somebody else. I don't know why you putting crosses in the chat. I don't know what's going on. So, Giovanni, who are you?
Let's go. Let's go.
Where we going?
Man, the people want to know Divine, man. The people want to know something, man.
Okay. Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, man. I'm just tired. I'm just tired of these Christians, bro. They just man, they talking about some extra spiritual hiatus, and man, I need to know what are some what AK-47s, you know, what ammunitions you got for me so I can get like I can hit them with a quick, you know what I mean? Hit them with a quick 1, 2, 3. You know, you get what I'm talking about? You know, something that's gonna make them stop in their tracks and make them do some actual research. You get what I'm saying?
I hear what you're saying. Okay. So I thought you was one of them. And hopefully you're asking a sincere question.
Nah. I was just playing around with everybody in the chat.
Okay.
I'm just
Okay.
yeah, man. Come on.
All right. So the first thing is not to alienate yourself from them. Right. So a lot of times what we do is because we have a different vantage point, different perspective, we tend to automatically discuss the numerators that divide us instead of denominators in order to have a common discussion, right? Because we have to bring them to the table first before we can talk about how we're going to chef things up, right? But if we continue to alienate ourselves from them and project things onto them, it's going to be very difficult for us to reach them, right? That's the first thing. The second thing is, before we even strive to correct other people, just make sure we got our house in order as much as possible, right? Because a lot of times they'll resort to ad hominems and personal attacks and not address what's being said. The third thing I would say is they have to be willing to have a dialogue with you where they're willing to yield to truth and willing to contribute. You understand what I'm saying? So in having that dialogue, it depends on where they're at. When you say Christians, it's a very generic term. There's 250.
So
Listen, my brother. 250,000 denominations.
All right. So apparently now the church became extra spiritual, and now they're like, oh, I'm not a Christian. I'm not a Baptist. I'm you know what I mean? Like,
I feel you.
Yeah, they going in right now. They not.
You know why they doing that? Because they don't want you to pin them down to something they have to defend. Yeah. Right? So they try to weasel out so that way you won't be able to pin them down, and it becomes very problematic. So they spiritualize everything so they don't have to commit to anything. Right? But when you're in this culture, you are obligated to commit to the cultural mandates, what we call the statute, laws, and commandments, because that grounds you into interpreting the rest of the text. Christians are not trying to do that. So a lot of times what I have to do is get them Christian authors that think like us, right? So I have to give references to people who are respected in their community to kind of see what they're talking about, because they might not listen to me, right? They might listen to DivineProspect. You a young black brother, you don't know what you're talking about. But if I give them an older white man saying the same thing, then things will change. So it all depends on who the Christian is, what nationality they are, you know, what disposition they have, what they used to identify with. Non-denominational, I'm spiritual. Spiritual doesn't mean anything. As they start talking and hammering out their tenets of faith, then you can say, oh, okay, I see what background you have. You're Calvinist, you know what I'm saying? And you're a pre-trib. You're a pre-trib Calvinist. You can't be that, but they mean just mix stuff up. There's no consistency or coherence based on their position. So a lot of times what happens is people go through seminary school and stuff like that to learn what's called systematic theology, so they can be consistent with their beliefs and worldviews. So when they're questioned or asked, they can respond appropriately and not say, oh, no, I'm spiritual, and I'm this, and I'm that. So what I'm saying?
But yeah. Divine, going back, you brought up about theology. I remember you said something on one of your videos saying that even you kind of throw away theology because it's kind of confining yourself around. I don't want to make it sound like you know what, like around the white man's area of, you know, because theology is his system versus what you have learned from different cultures, like more people like the tribe, Mandinka tribe, and you notice that there's a big distinction and differences when it comes to actual anthropology studies versus just looking at things on a theology basis. You get what I'm saying?
Correct. So, I know that your family comes from some of those tribes. I already know. I can tell by your accent.
Right. Yeah, man. My people's they Haitian. There
you
man.
go.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So, they always the big stories, those stories about, my great grandfather used to tell stories to my father about, how they used to hide in the mountains, and they used to wait for Frenchmen come out before they'll go kill them, and they'll have little rituals, and on top of the mountain. I don't know if you ever read into it about the Haitian Revolution.
Oh yeah, I got a great book on that too. And matter of fact, I have some Haitian historians speaking on it as well. I met a brother about 6 years ago, whose uncle is a Haitian historian, and share with him a lot of stuff that's not even written in books about what occurred. You know what I'm saying? Through oral tradition that was shared with him. So there's a lot of fascinating things you can learn about the Haitian culture, but it did not originate there. It came from somewhere else. But it's only through studying this text through those indigenous lenses can you move theology out the way and get back to what the culture dictates. Because your spirituality is predicated upon the culture you follow. A lot of Christians follow the culture, the Christian culture of wherever they're from, whether it's Haiti or America somewhere or West Africa. They're not looking at it through their indigenous lens. And there's tons of sources out there where you have people who convert to Christianity but still maintain their culture. And they have some of the best interpretations of scripture than anybody I know, because they're looking at it from the proper vantage point, which is culture, which is what's natural and indigenous to you, what we identify with, and not theology, which is a religion that borrows elements from culture, but then adds its own, so that way it could be supreme over you when culture is there to empower that community. So it's looking at the dichotomy between culture and theology and kind of see, okay, is your culture come from your theology, or does your culture dictate what theology you follow? A lot of times people get into religion, that becomes their culture, as opposed to having a culture that dictates your spirituality. We have to make sure we see which side we're on. And unfortunately, a lot of Christians are using theology to form a culture around them. And when they do that, they are barricading themselves in to something that's about to implode. You know what I mean? So it takes time, it takes tact, it takes diplomacy, it takes kind of feeling where they're coming from, the information that they're coming, getting them to go back and research. Like, for example, I talk about the Archbishop Usher and that chronology that he created. A lot of people didn't even know nothing about that, right? So they may go around saying something like that. Your job is to take notes, go back and research, and not use it to bang on them, but say, hey, look, I heard you were saying something. Man, that was great. But, I looked into this. Can you check it out? Let me know what you think. And if you continue to do it that way, it's very unassuming, right? It's almost passive aggressive, almost, where you're not coming off like, but what you're doing is you're letting them stay in a position of control, power, authority without removing it from them, but just shifting their direction to where you want them to go, right? It's all in maneuvering them in the direction that you want them to go without them being aware of it. And when you're able to do that, you'll see that you'll quench whatever religious fervor they have to argue, debate, and believe that they're right, or try to escape out of stuff, to them actually critically examining the things that you're sharing with them, right? So that's kind of, I guess that's a tactic that you can utilize, but you'll learn what works with you, my brother. And over time, I think you'll be very effective at what you do.
Right, man. That's what I'm saying, bro, because I've learned this. I learned these seasons, bro. Like, I want to do, I want to sit and talk as if I know everything, but I really want to just keep my mouth shut for a certain period amount of time, and I have enough research. Like, I know there's people who give me that work. Like, I don't know, man. Like, Holloway, he be giving you that work, because sometimes y'all always end up on a yeah, that's like empty, bro.
You say he be giving me that work?
I mean, come on.
Come on, brother. You a sit-down comedian for that. You don't be giving me no work.
All right, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. That simple idiom argument that y'all were having about the 3 days and 3 nights. You know what I'm saying, bro?
Correct.
He's trying to giving information while he's saying what you're saying is a fallacy, because at the end of the day, it's not as important to be technical and correct. And don't this that he's not even trying to give you like any type of like something to the extent of that when you You know what I mean? And then he's hitting you with stuff where I'm like, you know what, man? I don't know. Like, I need it to be a certified debate where Divine 3 Christians 1. And I want to be able to sit there and be like, all right, because there's certain points where Howard had a debate with DeRay about revelations about how Jesus is only Lord, is only King, but then you hit him with some Old Testament verses where they will actually introduce Israelites will actually call his Lord, but he was like, at the end of the day, Jesus is Lord. Nobody else can be on top of Yeshua. And I'm like, man, Revelation really sank with me. I'm like, nah, Divine, I felt like you kind of got stuck there. But at that time,
I got stuck. My brother, look, check it out. What I was doing and that. No. Listen. I feel you. And again, everybody's entitled to their perspective on that. If some people felt that Mike Holloway, got one up on me, whatever, I'm okay with that, my brother. At the end of the day, that wasn't even a serious conversation. Like we just came out of nowhere and we just started talking. I wasn't even on 1,000. I was probably on 15 at that time. I was chilling. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't going to turn up like that. I mean, if you go back, we have several other conversations. And what I'm saying is that conversation, I wasn't even turned up, right? But it's okay. Listen, I go back and I examine those discussions, those dialogues. I see where I fell short. I saw where I make good points. And what I do is I learn from them, right? And I hope that people who watch, they learn as well, because that's why I allow it on this channel, so we all can grow and people can have their opinions. They can share me with the insight. So at the end of the day, I always win because I'm a student first before anything else. So when you're a student, you can never lose because you're always learning. It doesn't matter who's from.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to let you go, my brother. Thank you for your time, Giovanni. I got my other Haitian brother in there. Do It for the Nation, a 19-year-old brother who's a dope artist. I follow him on social media. And I got a lot of Haitian brothers, man, that are part of KHF. I got at least 10 to 12 brothers that are Haitian, strong brothers. A lot of them shared some work with me, you know what I'm saying, about culture and identity and oral tradition and stuff like that. I learned a lot from them and anybody, even you, right? So I'm gonna keep you in my prayers, my brother. If I can help you in any way, let me know. The email is there, and I'll do what I can to assist. All right,
Divine. All right, one thing I'm on. Do you agree that the prophecy of Deuteronomy is strictly and towards every descendant that was put on those ships head to the West Indies and to the Americas?
Say that one more time.
From the yokes of us having yokes on around our necks, us having households from other nations, kings, and like brutalizing us and just deteriorating us. Do you believe that those curses? I'm not just saying in a semantic or anything, but I want to, from your objective standpoint and research and everything that you do you believe that those curses are for us, should make even those from not even on the 12 tribe charts, the ones people from England, black Americans, or everybody that wants it, that curses were strictly for that point in time for us?
All right, so I'm gonna say this, right, to answer your question. All right, the text had an author and the text had an audience. The text had an immediate audience because the author was writing to an immediate audience. The audience he was writing to was a particular demographic, ethnic group, and had a cultural identity, right? That author was writing to. So the author meant for that information to go to his immediate audience, and anything succeeding them based on the language of the text. How do we know that? In Deuteronomy chapter 29, when a covenant is reaffirmed, he's saying, I'm not just saying this to y'all here today, but those y'all that's to come in the future, which means they're referring to the descendants of the people who are the immediate audience that the author was speaking to, right? So anybody, if you're a Christian, if you're a Jew, if you're Muslim, if you're outside of that, agnostic, atheist, whatever, If you're going to handle the text with a degree of criticism and being able to understand things that are similar to other texts of the ancient Near East, you identify the author and you identify the immediate audience. This author was not writing to an audience outside of his immediate audience. So he was not writing about people who are Eskimos in Alaska. He was not writing to them. So if things did happen to them, that's fine. But this text was not writing to those people. They could be talking about the Aborigines that we have there off the islands of India. And they could have been taken into, slave ships and irons. But the text was not speaking to that particular demographic or ethnic group. It was speaking to its immediate audience, which were Israelites, because the text identified its audience as the children of Israel, Jacob, etc. Right? So that's the text. That's not me. That's anybody who's going to do hermeneutics, midrash, or any kind of exegesis of the text. You know that there's an author and there's an audience, and that the author is writing to a particular audience. And if the author intends that message to go outside the realm of that particular audience, it would be in the text, and it's there. I gave it to you, Deuteronomy chapter 29. Matter of fact, let me bring it up on the screen in case people think I'm just making stuff up.
Let's
right?
go.
Let me show it
Let's
to you.
go. Let's go.
So no, I'm gonna show it to you, right? So let me bring it up on the screen. And again, I don't know your disposition, right? It sounds like you're a Christian, but that's fine, right? He's playing devil's advocate. I like that. Nice little tactic right there, right? So check it.
I mean, there's a lot of fallacies in Christianity that just blows me to this day. Like the whole trying to all crazy because you don't know that.
I got you.
Trying to make tithing work for you, trying to make tithing work for people like the people in the church. Oh, you got to tithe. Like, I can't stand that, bro. That's not
now, my brother. I understand that, and I appreciate you being honest with that. And you're right. I agree, right? But my thing is when I disseminate information about the cultural identity of an Israelite and how we can correlate that to those of us that's here in America, I stopped using Deuteronomy 28 years ago, my brother. I don't use that no more. I don't need to use that, but I can use it just to play around with it. But I don't need to use that, right? That's like, to me, elementary. Once you understand that, you learn that, you got to move forward. So in Deuteronomy chapter 29, we're going to let the text speak. We got to learn who's the author and who's the immediate audience. And if the author makes any reference to an audience outside of his immediate audience, which he does. So let me bring it up on the screen so you can see, so you can kind of understand where I'm coming from when we do that. All right. So here, Deuteronomy chapter 29, verse 10. You are standing today, all of you, before Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh, Eloheh-Ka, or Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh, your power, the heads of your tribes, your elders, your officers, all the men of Israel, your little ones, your wives, and the sojourner who is in your camp, from the one who chops your wood to the one who draws your water, so that you may enter into the sworn covenant of Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh, your power, which Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh, your power, is making with you today, that he may establish you today as his people, and that he may be your power, as he promised you, and as he swore to your fathers, to Abraham, to Isaac, and Jacob. It is not with you alone that I am making this sworn covenant, but with whoever is standing here with us today before Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh, and whoever is not here with us today. Now, when you look at verse 15 and look at corroborating texts and look at the language that is written in the Hebrew, right? I don't know if you're into the Hebrew or nothing like that, but if you go into it, you'll see the tense in which things are being projected. Are we talking about a future tense, present tense, past tense? What voice or what mood? Mood, mostly you get that in like Greek. But what voice are we talking about in this verb? What are we referring to? Anybody who does commentary on that verse will let you know that the implication is referring to those who are the descendants of the immediate audience. Because as you continue to read into Deuteronomy 30 plus, the purpose of them saying these things is so that future generations can obey the statutes, the laws, and the commandments. They're not talking about people that is the Native Americans that live in Canada. They're not talking about the people who are native to South Africa, right? Let's say the Khoisan people that are the parts of them that is there in South Africa. They're talking to an immediate audience and their descendants specifically. So whether or not these consequences can happen to other people, that's fine. There's no argument with that. I'll never say that, oh, this doesn't happen to nobody else. What I'm simply saying is based on the narrative itself, it is referring to its immediate audience and their descendants. So if one can trace lineage back to these people, then this pertains to them. If one cannot do that, or one is disproved from doing that, or whatever the case may be, then it does not apply to them unless they were one of the strangers that cleaved unto Israel and their descendants that person is a part of, because they also covenant with the Most High. The strangers, it says. But we know those strangers was not Native Americans, right? That came over the Bering Strait, that science tells us came over the Bering Strait. It was not them, the Eskimos, the Aborigines off the coast of India. It was not those individuals. Unless these people's descendants travel to those areas and mingle with those peoples, but you have to do research to trace back the lineage. So again, this is what the text is saying it's talking to. I'm not saying this is just Israel. Forget what I have to say. I'm telling you who the text is speaking with. Let's keep going. If you want to keep going, you can go throughout the rest of Deuteronomy and you can see for yourself who they're talking to. I don't know why my computer is jumping around. Here in chapter 30, verse 1, it says, and when all these things come upon you, listen to this, my brother, the blessing and the curse, which I have set before you, and you call them to mind among all the nations. What's that word for nation? Goyim. Anybody that's alienated away from the covenant of this with this patron deity, where the Most High, your power, has driven you and returned. So look, the key thing is where they being exiled. Now, this immediate audience, were they exiled? No, they were not exiled. They were there collectively, hearing this before they crossed the Jordan River and go into Canaan. First stop being Jericho. Joshua chapter 6, 7, etc. So this is what the text is saying. I'm not saying this. And return to the Most High your power, you and your children, and obey his voice in all that I command you today with all your heart, with all your soul. Then the Most High your power will restore your fortunes and have mercy on you, and he will gather you again from all the peoples where the Most High your power has scattered you. He has not scattered them at this point. So again, chapter 28, chapter 29, and chapter 30. So it's not just limited to that immediate people, because the things that they say will happen did not happen to that particular group. Matter of fact, that generation died off in the wilderness. And then their descendants succeeded them, right? So I don't have to tell you anything. Forget what I think. I'm just using simple hermeneutics, and I'm using simple exegesis, and I'm allowing the text to speak for itself. But if you keep going through the rest of Deuteronomy, it will keep expressing to you it's talking about future generations. All right. So again, anybody that can trace their lineage, that's fine. But the key argument is, even if it does happen to any other people, it does not matter, because this text was not talking to those people. They're not mentioned here. We cannot force that onto the text. The text gives you its immediate audience and its future audience, which is the descendants of the immediate audience who's being spoken to within that particular moment. That's all. That's all. All right.
Man, that was good, man. I have another question, but I'll save that for later, man. But thank you so much, man.
No problem, King. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it. I know it's valuable. Look forward to seeing you on the show again. You can always chime in whenever we open the panel, and I'm gonna keep you in my prayers, my brother. All right, we'll build again. Okay. All right, Giovanni. Okay. Hopefully he's okay. Sound like he was outside somewhere. Some of y'all saying that he was in a club. Some of y'all saying he's out there trying to get some refried beans and all of that. Giovanni, please be safe, my brother. All right. Get home safely. All right. All right. So I'm just simply saying I'm just showing what the text is saying itself. You don't have to take nothing that I'm saying. It's telling you who it's talking about. So once you can show or propose a case that a majority of what we call African Americans can have a lineal connection to the people of the book, then we know the text is speaking about them because it's referring to subsequent generations. Check it out. When the text was being written, the generation it was speaking to, they didn't go nowhere. They died in the wilderness. They died. So therefore, it's not talking about them. It's talking about their descendants and things that will occur in the future if future generations disregard what the words are being said, and that is the statutes, the laws, and the commandments. People say cursed a lot. I say the word consequence because that is more culturally appropriate to use if we were to do a modern translation of that. Curse is not a good word. All right. Yasharal Discovery Channel, no problem, my brother. I talk about that stuff all the time. I have no problem letting you on here so we can build. All right. Is baptism exclusively for the initiation into the order of Melchizedek? Yes, it is. All right. It is. And it's to bring people into that fold. Now, will everybody get baptized as a rite of passage into the order of Melchizedek? No, it's not. I mean, everybody's not going to do that. But that was something that was an initiation rite. And we see that from a sister culture to what the Judeans were doing, who they were in the text. And that sister culture is the Qumran community. And we see a lot of parallels between the Qumran community and what's written in what's called the New Testament. Okay. All right. So I guess I'm not going to be able to finish teaching tonight, but that's cool. Let me give my two guests some time and then I'm closing out. So Vernon, if you're there, Elder, you have the floor. Vernon, you there? You there, Elder?
Hey, how you doing today, my young man?
There you go. I'm doing good, Elder. How you doing? Yes. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Okay, I'm good.
Yeah, I think.
I'm good. I'm good. We must got a delay in the sound or something.
Yeah, we must have a delay. Yeah. But I'm gonna let you talk. Go ahead if you can hear me, Elder.
Okay. Okay, good. Thank you. Hey, I figured out the conversation. I like that was that was about this what we talked about today about what's going on in society. I think we're gonna bring about they let them peoples know who those peoples out there in Israel are, who they really are. And they let the peoples know who the people that they brought out here on these slave ships are and who they really are. And they be honest about it. They ain't gotta lie. Be honest. You ain't gotta bring no reparations, no nothing. Just tell the truth. And look here, the truth look like it's finna come out, my brother. Okay.
Go ahead, Elder. I'm listening.
Oh, okay, good. Hey, look here. It seems like I'm having a hard time with you though, but I love you, man. I love your show. Hey, how's it doing?
You say that one more time. How's what doing?
Your young cub, your son. How's he doing? I saw him a couple weeks ago. He's growing real big now.
Yeah, he's doing really well. He tries to overtalk me now when I go live. So he's doing good. Thank you for that. Thank you for that, Elder. I appreciate that, man. You a true elder. True elder.
Oh yeah, hey, it's in me to do, bro. He put it in me to do it. Hey, yeah, I gotta get it out. He put it in me, I gotta get it out. But yeah, all they gotta do is do that. And now, hey, look here. I told you they were gonna get that bomb, but they gonna throw his butt so far up under the jail, it's gonna be pitiful. They going after him too.
They are. You was right. You did say that.
Yeah.
So I do gotta give credit where credit is due. You did say that.
Hey, look here. They got a whole look here. Yeah, they got a whole lot of mess they got to clean up. And it looked like it's going to be just trying. I'll give them a halfway trying. I'll give them a C. It's going to be the one that's going to win. But it's the evil one out there, and he fighting real hard. You see that, don't you, brother?
Yep, I do. So yeah, thank you so much for your time. Okay. You know, Elder Vernon, I appreciate it as always. Much love to you. Hey, you know, yep. Go ahead, Elder. If you got final words, go ahead.
All right, thank you, bro.
Anytime. Shalom.
Oh no. All praises due to the Most High.
Oh yeah. Thank you for the reminder. Of course, you're absolutely correct. All right, shalom, brother. All right, my brother Kenny. What's going on? It's almost 3 a.m.
What's up, you doing, man? I know, man. Hey, my wife, man, she was checking you out, man. She got mad love for you, bro. You
all praise the Most High.
Hey, listen, man. I want to talk about something just real quick, man. And it's kind of wild because you mentioned the guy Mike, I guess, who you debated with. Man, listen, I'm gonna tell all the young brothers this. You know, the Bible, now we know about the precept line upon line, right? But the Bible is one book that it seems like everybody got all these variations, right? And then when you talk about Christianity, they love, I mean, especially like when you talk about Arminianism and Calvinism, they love just using one section or one verse, and they just basically go all over the place to basically, I guess what I'm trying to say is, man, to just kind of prove their point. So I want to kind of just show the young people something, if I could, bro. You remember when Mike stepped to you, I guess it was Galatians 5th chapter, when he talked about the bondwoman, the servant, and all that. You remember that? Would you mind just bringing it up just real quick?
Yeah, I'll bring it up. Hold on, I'll bring it up. Hey, that's Galatians 4.
I think it's 5th chapter, I believe.
Well, I got Hagar and Sarah. You talking about that, right?
Right, that right there, yeah.
Yeah, that's Galatians 4.
All right, okay.
Verse 22. Yeah, I get it. Hold on, let me put it on the screen. Right. Hold on, let me pull it up. Okay.
And guys, I'm a novice. I'm not like Divine, but you know, I guess the point I'm trying to make is like they never think about when you reading Galatians what he's saying at the very beginning of the Galatians, right? I mean, I could sit here and go precept upon precept, but the actual book itself, it has to align with what Paul's talking about at the very beginning, would be it Romans or whatever. So if you can read that for me, I'm gonna show y'all something real quick. So it says, what? Tell me who desire to be under the law, do not listen to the law. For who? What says? For it is written that Abraham had 2 sons, one by a slave woman and one by a free woman. But the son of the slave was born according to the flesh, while the son of the free woman was born according to the promise, right? So he used this right here to say why the law is done away with. Now, if you do me a favor, brother, go to Galatians 1. All right, now scroll down. I think it's starting at the verse 10. Let's see. Okay, right here. Okay, it says, for now this remember, y'all, he's starting off making this point, right? Which you do in any book or any letter you write, and you always go to the beginning. So he says, for I now seeking the approval of man or of God, or am I trying to please man? If I were still trying to please man, I would not be a servant of Christ. For I would have you known, brothers, that the gospel was preached by me is not man's gospel, right? For I did not receive it from any man, nor was it taught, but I received it through the revelation of Jesus Christ. For you have heard of my former life in Judaism, right? How I persecuted the church of God violently and tried to destroy it. I was advancing in Judaism beyond many of my own age among my people. So extremely zealous was I for the traditions of my fathers, right? I mean, that's laid out right there. So he's telling you right there at the very beginning that what he was teaching before was the traditions of the Father, right? But he says, but when he who had set me apart, I was born, who called me by his grace, I was pleased to reveal, I'm sorry, what it says, to me, his son, in order that I might preach him among the Gentiles. I'm sorry, I couldn't read the rest of that, Divine. It's cutting off.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, hold on.
All right. So basically, okay, says, I did not immediately consult with anyone, nor did I go up to Jerusalem to those who were apostles before me, but went into Arabia and returned to Damascus. So I just stopped right there. So at the very beginning, he's telling you that what he was preaching before was after the tradition of his fathers, and what he did in Christ was after the Spirit. So he already differentiated the Spirit from the flesh, the Spirit from the flesh. So when you talk about Hagar and you talk about Sarai, the only reason why he went to Hagar to have Ishmael was because of his flesh. You know what I'm saying? He didn't believe in the promise that that God had told Abraham, look, your wife is going to have a kid, blah, blah, blah. Sarah was like, look, I'm 99 years old. How am I going to have a kid, right? So she didn't have faith in what God was doing, right? I mean, that's just a fact. So basically they flesh, she's like, look, I'm going to give you Hagar, blah, blah, blah. But see, what did God say? Ishmael is not part of the promise. Isaac is. And I'm not trying to dog the man. I don't know the brother. But what he did was he used that particular verse, which most Christians do, to basically, support his agenda, not understanding that you have to go to chapter 1 to even know what he's talking about before you get there. You see my point? So, when you debate, that's why I don't like debating. When you debating, they can just go through and chop through their whole thing. But if you're not even trying to say what it actually means in Galatians, you could just take it anyway. It's just like, for instance, the 3 days and 3 nights. I'm gonna be real with you, brother. I thought that debate kind of got ridiculous because here's my point. I'm an engineer, right? You have variances, right? So say if I build this building, right? Okay, and they say, okay, the length is 100 feet, the width is 300 feet. When I build that building, brother, is it going to actually be 100 feet by 300 feet? It's going to be some type of variance in there because you're not going to have it exactly at 100 feet. You build, things happen. So you have a plus or minus, say 1 foot that you can go, right? So if I'm sitting here telling you that Jesus had to arise at exactly 355, whatever, that's just a ridiculous argument.
That's ridiculous. Exactly.
You see my point? So you see how that was going left? And I'm thinking like, so when I heard dude said he wanted to debate, I'm gonna try to dog the man out, but it's just like, come on, man. You're gonna tell me that there can be a 5 or 6 hour variance between the 3 days. That's what he was saying. He's saying, 3 days and 3 nights, or 3 days, that could be like started Friday at 5 p.m. and then go from, it just made no sense.
He's just wilding, man.
And like, I'm not trying to dog the brother out, but I just want you brothers to understand, man. And I told Divine this. We talked on the phone one time. I said, man, I don't profess to know everything, but I feel like my generation, because I'm that you guys, I'm in my 50s. I felt like my generation felt the younger brothers because we didn't teach her how to be critical thinkers. You know what I'm saying? The Bible, to me, my personal opinion, the Bible is not a hard read if you just basically read it like you read a book. Now, of course, Divine is well advanced more than me, but I can sit there, man, and I can read that book and I can understand it. And it's like for instance, I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna let y'all go. I heard what's the name, Vocab Malone. I know everybody's kind of tripping on him, right? So this guy's a Calvinist because I don't heard him talk, right? He's James White, right? He was with. So basically, the Calvinists they go on. Was it Romans 9, where Moses says, I guess what he said. God said, "I can do what I want to do or whatever," right? Right. So if you read, that's what I'm telling y'all, man. If you read Romans, further back, he's talking to the Israelites, right? So basically, Israel, our ancestors, we kind of tripping because we like, man, y'all got to be circumcised. You know what I'm saying? That's what they say, you got to be circumcised, man, in order to be with us, right? Well, all Paul is saying is like, dude, you over here tripping, you transgressing, and you trying to talk about how your circumcision is making you holy, and you over here tripping, right? So basically, Paul is saying like, hey, okay, the Gentiles, man, they want the promise, man. So how are you gonna tell God who he can save and who he can't save? That's all he's saying.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all he's saying. It has nothing to do with this predestination stuff.
Exactly.
But, you know what I'm saying? So I can sit there and look, like I said, I'm a novice. I would love to talk to vocab because I think I could tear him up just myself.
Of course. I believe you can as well.
Absolutely.
What you're saying is like just basic insight into the text would lead you to see the conclusion you just made and not something additional, but they're not trained to see it that way.
You feel brother, you understand. Exactly.
Yeah.
I was telling my wife, man, I'm an engineer, man. I mean, so basically I was telling Divine this. If I'm a teacher and I'm trying to teach somebody calculus, right? I don't start off teaching them trig. I go to algebra.
Correct.
And build them up, right? Correct. They trying to give you trig and you ain't even got the basic thing. That's so it just causes a lot of confusion. Yep. So young brothers and sisters, I'm telling you, look, I'm not trying to dog out Christianity. I mean, I was a primitive Baptist, started off in it, but just don't let these Christians, man, get you to the point to where you get confusion, man. Divine's a great teacher, brother. I'm telling y'all. I mean, a great teacher. So just stick with him and just read the scriptures, man. Just start off at Genesis like I did and work your way on up.
That's Uncle Kenny right there, man. That's what I call him. That's Uncle Kenny. Kicking that.
Hey, brother, look, I'm going to tell you too, man. Hey, the plan's in fruition, man. So I got, you still got me. We're going to do the thing, man. We're going to get Tennessee rocking, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Thank you so much, my brother. As always, man, it's awesome speaking with you. And again, thank you for just the basic insight that is the building blocks, right? To get to this point, so we can have these type of more concentrated dialogues. And unfortunately, we're just trying to get our brothers and sisters in Christianity just to see these simple basic building blocks. And you got that. That's what the Most High has built you to do. And you can reach people just off of that, I'm saying, things that I can't do. And that's why we work together as a team. So who I can't reach, you can, and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate it, Uncle Kenny, man. You okay with me calling you Uncle Kenny, right?
Hey, brother.
Uncle Kenny.
Hey, Shabbat Shalom, my brother.
Shabbat Shalom, King. Enjoy the rest of your Shabbat, man. Tell your Isha I said hi, and we'll speak again, King, all right?
All praise, brother. You too. Take care, man.
You too. All right, so I'm going to end off. I see a lot of what y'all saying in the chat, but I'm not going to address any of that. I'm letting y'all talk to each other, but I'm going to sign off because it's 3.5 hours, much longer than I anticipated. I was trying to be off about an hour and a half ago, but it just didn't happen like that. But with that being said, I thank you guys for watching up to this point. Make sure if you're brand new, hit that subscribe button. All right. If you enjoyed the content, hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you share this video everywhere on all forms of social media. Let's get more and more people to see this type of information, these type of dialogues, and inspire a flame. If it's even just a spark to put on somebody's candle, because sometimes some of our people have been so drained that their oil has run out. Right. And sometimes our job is just to pour the oil there and help them with the flame, and then allow them to take that candlestick in the direction in which Yah has them to go. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Yashara Discovery Channel in the building, the true people of the Bible. Shalom. Anybody that I missed, it wasn't intentional. My apologies. If I miss anybody, shout out to Brandon, Indeed, Franco Hazley, my brother Alexander McCaskill in the building. Let me see. Anybody else I missed? I think y'all are the last remaining soldiers that's hanging in here with me. Shout out to Sister Bevy Bev in the building, bringing in that elder swag. Like, hey, let's stop with the cursing and refocus. So I saw that and had to ensure that, okay, let me follow protocol. You feel me? Shout out to Tony Lysite. I think I said what's up to you already. Book, chapter, verse, shalom. And anybody else I've missed, thank you for your donations, for sharing the video, for your time. If there's anything that we could do for you, email us at kingdomharbinger@gmail.com. If you want to speak with me, call me at 678-430-3832, Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And let's schedule an appointment so we can chat, because I'm here for the people. You know what I'm saying? I'm here for the people. I'm never going to get so high that I don't talk to my common brother and sister. You know what I'm saying? Because I learn almost half the stuff that I know from just people who are not even involved in what I do. You know what I'm saying? And I'm grateful for all those experiences. Even the brother that came on the show, I'm so glad that he came here, because it's always a learning lesson. And y'all know how we do on this show. We have all types of people come on here saying, "Oh, some of y'all be like, yo, Divine, why are you entertaining that?" Because there's a bigger picture that a lot of times we don't see in our immediate reality. I try to think 10 steps ahead. I try to look at a person and see if they're sincere, genuine, or they're just outright wicked. I didn't find that in our brother today. I didn't find that in a lot of my guests. I realized there are other factors that cause them to be how they are before they get on the forum with me. But I just wanted people to know that if you're going to troll, be man enough to have a one-on-one discussion. And the ones that have joined the discussion, I've had built with them, I appreciate y'all for coming here. You keep me grounded. You know, sometimes you try to show me how to take things at a different angle, and, you know, how to look at things, you know, a little more intently. I appreciate that. And we should all welcome those kinds of conversation. And all your teachers and mores should be man enough and built to speak to anybody. Because if they can't do that, like, I can't just get so far into the realm of academia that I can't talk to a brother or sister. I can't get so deep that I can't explain simple things. That's why even on this channel, I try to do messages and posts and simple stuff, right, to reach people who may not be at that level, but they wind up here anyway. So I want to cater to where they're at, right, and be able to extract greatness from out of them, so I can present it to them and say, this is what Yah has called you to do. This is what he's put inside of you. Everything's already there. You just didn't have the mirror to reflect it. And when we teach on here, our objective is to create a mirror so our brothers and sisters can see the greatness that Yah has imbued into them and what he has placed in them. As long as they stay humble under his mighty hand, he will do wondrous works with them. And I believe that for each and every one of y'all that are watching. All right. So I appreciate y'all. Thank you for watching. I look forward to seeing you guys on the next live stream. Stay tuned to any future content that I upload to YouTube, which I plan on doing soon. And again, the 24/7, 365 after party always goes down on Patreon. We got over 420 plus posts on there and more coming. There is so much content on there. You will never finish it in a lifetime. And we keep adding to it. You know what I'm saying? So thank you for supporting us on Patreon, for giving your donations, for sharing this link. And all of you out there, yo, people say, yo, I'm gonna call my man, say, yo, watch this show. Yo, I don't know who the brother is that referred the other brother to come on and have a dialogue, but shout out to you, King. Thank you for doing that. And I'm gonna always welcome whoever you send this way, because my objective is to build, not destroy. There's a time for destruction, time for the destroy. But when I see these brothers, these are my brothers, man. They're not, that's not the time to destroy. Now, I'm gonna have to check them. They may have to check me. That's okay. That's all right. But I'm not here to destroy my brother. I'm not going to do that. I refuse to do that. I'm not going to do it. There's a real enemy out there that's greater than me and this other person that actually controls things in our life and affects our livelihood. So that's where the energy should be concentrated towards, not my brother and my sister. All right. I love you, family. Get some rest. Thank you for being up at 3 in the morning with me. I'll see you guys on the next live stream. And if you guys need me for anything, email me or shoot me a call, and I'll do my best to get to you. Me and in the squad. KHM squad in the building. All right. And remember, the KHM mixtape is available. The link will be in the description if you're interested in getting it. And we'll do an open album release party on Monday. Y'all willing, if all goes well. All right. Love you, family. See y'all again. Peace and shalom.